welcome in to Delaware Speedway Racing on Rogers TV, brought to you by Oil Guard. I'm Joy Langdon, joined alongside Kyle Friel. And Kyle, lots of intrigue going into this season. We're about to see the bone stocks in a couple minutes here, but so many variables this season compared to last. I mean, where do we even start?
Yeah, it's going to be a big field. 41 cars registered for the Bone Stock Series this evening, so it's going to be quite the interesting combination to see who's going to be actually racing in the feature, because having 41 cars in a feature probably will not go over very well on a track here like this at Delaware Speedway.
Right, so they just had the drivers meeting recently. They're going to go over the qualifying rules soon, and now the feature races are even more important. Obviously, we're going to see the standings in a second, and you get 10 points for winning your heat, but also now you need to get into the feature where the big points are around. And it comes up here. Jordan Wilms in the lead, but only barely 1 point up on the surprise of the season, Jeremiah Rabideau. Any surprises you see going for so far this season?
I know I've heard the name Joe Lawrence quite a bit, and he's only 4 points out, so look for him to try and work his way up these standings in the points as he's looking to grab top spot over Jordan Wilms. And it's going to be one heck of an event here tonight at Delaware Speedway. As mentioned, 41 cars registered. That is absolutely crazy to hear and see that many cars registered for a bone stock event.
Right. It's such a small track, too. There's not a lot of room to move, so we're not going to see 41 in the feature. I don't think that's very safe. We heard there's going to be some sort of qualifying process for the heats. We don't know exactly what that is yet. Once we find out, we'll let you know. Josh Flanagan, by the way, in the lead in the Rookie of the Year chase, but it's super early. Let's move on to the V8 stock standings. A smaller field as usual, but actually bigger than last year. We're going to see some more today. You see Jesse Kennedy and Clay Stevenson haven't scored a point yet. I don't believe either is here today, but Ethan Orr actually is going to be in a lot of trouble. He was smoking pretty bad in the practice round. But Kyle Mesenberg, we were talking before, he's the guy to chase, and he might actually be a victim of his own strength today, isn't that right? Yeah,
the V8 stock division here has a new rule in place that no car can be faster than 24.1 seconds on a lap. If they are faster than that, the flagman will give them the black flag. They'll have to go down pit row, slow down, and then re-enter the race after they take their trip down pit row. So that'll be very interesting to see how that plays in to this short field of bone stock racing. V8 stock racing, rather. And, yeah, it's going to be something that the drivers are going to have to pace themselves on and maybe not gun it right off the bat and just kind of pace themselves in for the race so they don't have to take that trip down pit lane.
That's right. It's almost like we're doing plate racing without the plates. So mental plate is what we got to put in here for this race. But let's move on to late model. That is not a rule in late model. It's just an experimental rule the V8s are running. But in the late models, already super intense racing. Jake Sheridan out in front. He's one of the guys we expected to see up front. A lot of familiar faces up there in the top. But Barry Watson is in ninth, coming up from the V8 stock division, I believe. And he has had a great season so far. Anyone you're looking at?
Yeah, it's Ray Morneau. I've seen him race a couple of times here at Delaware. And he's one fast racer. He's looking 5 points back at Jake Sheridan. And then just off the screen here, number in the 11th spot is the 18 car of Patrick Friel. And he's looking fast. He was looking fast late last season, and so far in the first couple of races this year, some unfortunate luck here for him last weekend. Out of the race, was running in the top 10, pushing into the top 5, so he's looking to push his way up. But this top 10 here in the standings, something these names are very familiar, and they're going to be pushing hard all year to grab that points championship at the end of the season.
All right, the bone stocks from the first heat race are going out for their parade lap. We'll be right back right after this. Delaware Speedway Racing on Rogers TV, brought to you by Oil Guard right after this.
Top to bottom, no drip rust protection at Oil Guard goes right to where your car or truck needs it most. From the engine compartment to the door panels, and 8 points in between. Oil Guard has you covered. One Oil Guard treatment will help you duck the rust for 1 full year.
When you choose Pizza Hut, you're supporting a local, family-owned and operated business. We've been serving our community for over 35 years and take great pride in what we do. From our family to yours, thank you for choosing Pizza Hut and supporting local.
It's about sharing and caring. It's about doing and belonging. It's about living life to its fullest. And it's about laughing out loud. We are L'Arche Canada, and we're about witnessing and sharing the gifts of all people. Learn more about us today.
Welcome back to Delaware Speedway Racing on Rogers TV, presented by Oil Guard. On Rogers TV, also on YouTube, if you want to check us out there on the Rogers TV YouTube account. Cars are lining up here for the first heat race of this bone stock night. Looks like it is Michael Verburn who, coming in as a guest racer, is going to have the pole. 48 Connor Ellis right alongside. 15 of Sterling Roberts next behind him. And then my roster sheet just flew up in my face, so bear with me. The 269 cars right next to each other after that, Mitchell Rawlings and Shane Gibson. And then Cassie Howard, who had a tough season last year, is going to be alongside that. They're taking the last corner. The pace car is going to pit. Taking the last corner, and here we go. And immediately Michael Verburn, the pole sitter, is falling off hard.
Yeah, we see the number 48 able to come out into the lead here, and the 21 car as they go into the corner. Oh, and a spin around here. I believe that's the pole sitter, Mike Verburn. We stay green as he's able to get it going again. Great job for Verburn, able to keep that straight and keep this 10-lap heat race under green flag. As Verburn has fallen way off. He's behind the pace by quite a lot.
And check out Jason Lovey, who came out of nowhere. And the magic number for this race is going to be top 6, we were just told. Top 6 are going to qualify. And that's big trouble for the defending champ, Chris Lawrence, who's currently sitting right now in 7th.
As we see here, we have 8 laps to go coming up to the stripe. It's going to be 7 to go here, and this race is kind of spreading itself out. Nothing really of notice here other than, like we mentioned, Joey, the pole sitter now dropping way back into the back of the pack.
Sterling Roberts also had some trouble there, but still running away with the lead right now is Jason Lovey. He won the most races last year, but DNF'd a couple too many times, and Chris Lawrence was able to pull off the incredible feat of winning the championship without winning a single race. And he takes 6 from Jennifer Hatch, and now he is in the last transfer spot.
Yeah, as we mentioned, 6 cars from this heat go directly to the feature here tonight at Delaware Speedway. So it's going to be that battle for that 6th spot, I think, is going to be the one that a lot of the cars are going to be battling for here.
Lovey, Ellis, Stewart, Rawlings, Fusil, Lawrence, Wheel are currently the top 6. Wheel and Jennifer Hatch are fighting over that last transfer spot. Cassie Howard, Shane Gibson right behind them.
As we have 5 to go coming up to the stripe, and it looks like we have the 15 car getting lapped here. He's fallen way off the pace.
Sterling Roberts.
Yeah, Sterling Roberts is not having a great
Roberts got into someone, and that's Lawrence, and that is going to be trouble. Lawrence was in the last transfer spot, and he's overtaken. Oh my goodness, a lapped car turned into Lawrence sitting in the last transfer spot.
That is unfortunate there for Lawrence, as he's going to try and get his car back into that 6th position here with 3 to go. It might be tough, as these cars are going around pretty fast, making it quite the race here.
Up in the lead, Jason Lovey is running away with it right now, but there's some good racing in the 3rd spot behind, coming out of turn 4. Still battling. Connor Ellis coming in. He's in 2nd now. That is for 2nd, not for 3rd, my mistake. And the field has really spread itself out now. Lapped cars early. Now it'll be last lap at the stripe. Michael Verburn sitting in the last transfer spot right now. He's under pressure by Jennifer Hatch. As you see, battling for 2nd is Connor Ellis and Alex Stewart. Up out front, Jason Lovey is going to win the first race this season, barring any sort of drama here in the last corner. And there you have it. Jason Lovey takes the checkered for the first bone stock race here on Rogers. 2nd will be Alex Stewart. 3rd, Connor Ellis. Chris Lawrence came out of nowhere to finish 4th. Tyler Wheel, Mike Verburn, and I believe Jennifer Hatch got the last transfer spot. Shane Gibson and no, Cassie Howard is going to be the one missing out.
Yeah, the top 6 here going right to the feature event tonight. And man, what can you say? We had what we thought might have been the pole sitter that was going to be in a good spot starting the race. Then all of a sudden the green flag hit and down he goes to the bottom of the barrel. And so we see there the 21C car in victory lane as he wins this heat. And good for him, as he will pick up some points for a heat win, and that'll help him in the standings.
Always nice to get Jason Lovey in victory lane, although he's not going to stick around for the interview this time. He's always colorful to have on the mic. Last year, every time he was on the mic, he decided to call me out specifically. But you know, that's just how it goes. Next bone stock race coming up.
With that, the driver's getting the go signal for.
We'll be right back here on Rogers TV for more from Delaware Speedway Racing, brought to you by Oil Guard.
Motorists across Ontario trust Oil Guard Formula 2 No Drip for proven rust protection. Oil Guard has been road tested against Ontario winters by hundreds of thousands of vehicle owners just like you. Oil Guard knows how to help you duck the rust.
Don't get caught unprepared this summer. White's Rental is your one-stop shop for lawnmower tune-ups and repairs. You can visit us at our new location, 785 Little Simcoe Street.
I'm Shannon Woolley, host of Batter Up Beachville on Rogers TV. Join myself and Doug Harris as we learn more about the first recorded baseball game in Beachville. Watch it on Rogers Cable, rogerstv.com. Thanks for watching.
Welcome back to Delaware Speedway Racing, brought to you by Oil Guard here on Rogers TV. I'm Joey Langdon, joined alongside Kyle Friel. Kyle, we just had the first heat race. 6 moved on to the feature from that one. 8 will move on from this one. And the interesting thing here is we've got 2 people from the Starrett racing team, Bonnie Starrett, and instead of Katie Starrett, I believe it is Len Starrett.
Yes, Len Starrett is going to be driving the number 88 car, usually driven by, I don't know if it's a mom, dad, daughter type of deal there, but nonetheless, the 88 car is going to be driven by Len Starrett tonight, and he's looking to have a good heat race here and bring the 88 car possibly to victory lane, or at least into the feature, and have a chance to win the feature race here tonight at Delaware Speedway.
So I wonder if the driver swap has anything to do with the lots of damage that both cars took a couple of weeks ago. I was talking to some of the other teams in the pit lane beforehand, and they were surprised that the Starrett Racing cars even made it today. Apparently they wrecked each other pretty bad a couple weeks ago, and the looks of it is both those cars might be held together by duct tape and prayers, but they're here. They're going to take the checkered, or they're going to take the green flag and try and make it to the checkered flag. They're starting 2 and 4, so that should be interesting. Up front in pole is the number 06, which, if I can consult my notes real quick, is Sarah Wheel. So Sarah Wheel has pole. Next to her will be Bonnie Starrett. And then behind them, it is the 24 of Hank Clausen, one of the Rookie of the Year contenders. And then Len Starrett. And then the 7 of Pete Vanderwist Jr., who really could have won Rookie of the Year last year, but he was classified as a guest driver and didn't score the points. And then it will be the 11
And if you have kids down in turn 1 rolling down the hill,
of Rob Wollaston behind them. We'll get to the rest of the field as the race goes on. Pace car pits. And here we go. Oh, Starrett gets a heck of a jump. And getting a really poor jump is Hank Clausen bunching up the field, and Bonnie Starrett is going to be really, or sorry, Len Starrett is going to be really happy with that. Len Starrett's in the 88, Bonnie's in the 89.
Yeah, Len here, great start off the green flag, and he is now opening up a pretty decent lead. I would call that about 4 or 5 car lengths, and he is looking real fast out there in the 88 as he's crossed the stripe here, 9 to go.
Oh, they're 4 wide going into turn 1. This could be trouble. They all make it out of there somehow, but slowing down a lot. And the first lapped car of the session is going to happen, but still a real battle. Oh, we got a turn. Where is that? That's in turn 1, deep into turn 1, I believe. The 64, we stay green as the lead lap cars bear down on them.
Yeah, Len Starrett still holding that big lead there, lapping the 4 car. The 4 car is having an issue here, not looking very fast as he drops to the bottom of the track, lets the lead cars pass him, as you should here in any race. If you're getting lapped here, you want to let the cars that are going to have a chance to win get through as clean as possible.
We mentioned the new track surface. This could be trouble. Going on the outside is the 7, Pete Vanderwist Jr. and Len Starrett squeezing each other out for the lead. Neither giving an inch. Vanderwist might have the quicker car, but Starrett not giving up. Brakes lane, what a move, and Pete Vanderwist Jr. takes the lead.
Vanderwist Jr. taking the outside track there and able to pass Len Starrett for the lead here. We have 6 to go as they pass the stripe here in the second heat of this Bone Stock Series. It's going to be one heck of a finish here with 6 to go.
Jason Craig in the 42. That battle for first really helped him because now he has passed Len Starrett and he is now bearing down on Pete Vanderwist Jr. The 3 are starting to separate. 4 wide again into turn 4. There is some big clumping happening for those last transfer spots. 4 wide into turn 1, and that time it doesn't work. A spin in turn 1. We stay green for now, and another spin. Locking up was the 24 of Hank Clausen. We stay, now we go yellow. Took long enough in my opinion. And that's the 44, I believe, of Owen Martin that got spun around. You can't go 4 wide into turn 1 in Delaware twice in a row without something happening.
Now Owen Martin there not able to get his car turned around and driving forward, so that causes a yellow flag here, the first caution of the night, and it's the second heat race of the Bone Stock division, as now we'll wait and see as the pace car is gonna make its way out onto the track and guide the drivers around as we wait for them to double back up. And as we mentioned, the new track surface here at Delaware Speedway, I noticed last week watching it on the YouTube channel of Rogers TV that yes, on the restarts, a lot of the drivers are taking the outside, the high side, instead of the inside track. So we'll see what happens here, see where the first place driver goes, as they have the option of going high or low here. And it looks like as they start doubling up, he might take the low side here, as that's Vanderwitz Jr. Looking to stay in first in this heat race, as we have 5 to go. It's halfway through this heat race, and they start doubling up here. 1 lap around to go before the caution is done, and we get a restart. The pace car guiding the cars, so he'll go into the pits here his next time around.
And worth noting, the big story is the transfer spot. This one top 8 qualify. Right now sitting in that spot is Matt Langford, but Bonnie Starrett is going to be starting right beside him, and the Starrett racing cars have looked really quick on the starts. So that could be a lot of trouble for Matt Langford, sitting in the 03, not his normal 03. He's actually using Mark Howard's number 3 with a 0 stapled onto it, because his 03 was wrecked a couple weeks ago. Pace car pits. Vanderwitz is going to set the field, and here we go. Getting a great start is Jason Craig. Again, you mentioned on the high side, but Vanderwitz Jr., great defensive driving, is able to hold him off.
For now, as it's still a great battle for first and second, as the 42 gets to the high side. He was able to get a nose ahead of Vanderwitz Jr., but Vanderwitz down low, able to now keep the lead here coming up to the stripe.
Vanderwitz Jr., the king of the late breakers. He might be the only one out there comfortable on being on the inside line right now. Great defensive driving for first place. And behind in the transfer spots, Owen Martin takes the number 8. Still up front, the 7 and the 42, bumper to bumper, but Vanderwitz Jr. much more comfortable with that inside line. Goes a little loose, but he's able to make that turn with grace. And now 3 to go, he's still in the lead. The cars all bunched up behind him. Len Starrett is back in 4th, Bonnie Starrett's in 10th. That's our update on the Starrett racing cars, as Vanderwitz Jr. really pulling away now. Craig not really able to do much. As you see, this is back near for 4th place. Matt Langford not driving his normal car. That's Mark Howard's 3 that he has a 0 on, and he has driven the wheels off it so far. That was not a competitive car last year. In fact, retired for more races than it finished, and he's putting it into 4th place right now.
Yeah, Peter Vanderwitz Jr. here has a huge lead, as it's 1 lap to go here in the second heat. Vanderwitz, barring anything here, looks like he'll take the checkered flag, as he has, I would say, about an 8 to 9 car length lead here over the number 42 of Craig. And Vanderwitz Jr. going to pick up some points for the standings after winning this heat race.
Still a race, though. Coming out of turn 4 for the last transfer spot, Brent Pelly is all over Robert Wolenston. And Wolenston is going to take it at the last corner and qualify for the feature. Out of nowhere, Wolenston got caught by Pelly, and Pelly got him at the line. How about that? 11 was sitting in that transfer spot the entire race, it seemed like, and Brent Pelly came out of nowhere and got him at the line. What a race for that last spot, and what a race for Pete Vanderwitz Jr. taking the 10 points, locking himself in to the feature. And there's Pete Vanderwitz Jr. right there. I thought he was going to win Rookie of the Year last year. He ended up being ineligible for points. But this is one of the future talents of stock car racing in Ontario right there.
Yeah, Peter Vanderwitz Jr. getting the in-car photo op here as he takes heat 2, gets the checkered flag. He'll leave victory lane and go back into the pits and possibly make some adjustments here, as he will qualify for the feature event later tonight here at Delaware Speedway. And as we mentioned, Joey, 2 races down for this Bone Stock series, and some pretty good heat races to say the least.
And as we see the cars for Heat 3 start to line up, it looks like the 00 is going to have pulled. The 10 cars are going to qualify from this one. That's Jay Cox, who had a great last couple races charge at the points lead at the end of last year. Wasn't enough to win, but he's got a fast car, and he's definitely one of the contenders this year. Joe Lawrence also in this race. He is one of the current points contenders, the brother of defending champ Chris Lawrence, so it'll be interesting if Chris Lawrence's team can get their points chased together. If the brothers are chasing the points by the end of the season, that'll be great television, don't you think?
Oh, most definitely, as it's always good to see some healthy competition in racing up the point standings here. So it's a long season. It's just getting started here at Delaware Speedway, so we'll have to wait and see as the season drags on as to who's gonna eventually come away at the top of the point standings here as we get ready for this third 10-lap heat race in the bone stock division.
So from what I've been told, this is not the last chance we're going to have to qualify. The drivers that their cars are still moving and they have not qualified yet, there's going to be a fourth heat later on, and that will be the last chance qualifying for the feature. So top 10 from this one qualify, and there's only 11 on the track right now, so you don't want to be last.
Yeah,
you really don't want to be last.
No, exactly here. So you're yes, you want the points for winning the heat, but maybe in this one, since there's only 11 cars and 10 make it, play it a little safe here and just try and not finish last and try and not wreck your car, as if you qualify for the feature, you want to be able to take the track with a car that's going to be in good shape to run later on tonight.
So I'm actually counting 13 now. A couple cars joined the race late from pit road. So again, the odds are in your favor here. Just don't finish in the bottom three, and you don't have to go through second chance qualifying. Use up your extra tires, use up your extra fuel, put more wear on your car in last chance qualifying. Give yourself a great chance for the feature later on, and also, like we mentioned, pick up some good points from the heat race.
Exactly, yeah. Finish where you can here in this heat race. You just want to qualify for the feature, and like I said, have a car to run the feature with. So as much as you want to gain as many points here in this heat race, points in the feature race are good as well. So if you get to the feature race, you have a shot at getting more points. So therefore, let's have a car that you can race in the feature. And as we are getting the white flag is out, 1 lap to go here in this third heat race in the bone stock division. And cars are now doubling up as they enter turn 1, and the pace car is going to exit here momentarily.
Jay Cox on pole alongside of his Mitchell Rawlings. Rawlings had a tough season last year, looking to put that behind him. Start good this year. Behind them is Colin Wilms going for Rookie of the Year. And then next to him, I believe that's the 07 of Jack Dixon. And then the 16 of Wade Thorne. The 12 of Joe Kicks, who had a great season last year. And that's all I can give you. As we're about to get going here, the pace car pits. Cox sees the green flag, and here we go. Oh, he gets off real well. That might actually be a little too well. They're going to take a look at that start. Mitchell Rawlings got off really poorly. And Cox, with a little smoke coming out of the tires, took that corner really hard. This is going to be a really tight race all the way through. And in fact, we're going to see the yellow. They're going to call Jay Cox for an improper start, and the black flag is coming out.
Yeah, as we see there on the green flag, it was not out yet, and Cox just got a little bit too happy on the gas pedal there, took off just a little too quick, and it looks like we'll have a restart here as the pace car is back out here on the track, and Let's double up again and restart here, Joey.
So Jay Cox sees the black flag. That's not an automatic disqualification. It's just a penalty, or in this case, I believe it's just going to be a warning. And let's take a look at that again. We can't see the flag man here, but he gets off pretty early. Did he have control? I don't know how much of that was on Jay Cox, to be honest, and how much of that was Mitchell Rawlings not getting a good start.
No, we have a yellow line here coming out of turn 4. That's where you're allowed to accelerate on the gas. So I think Cox there was just a little bit too trigger happy on the gas pedal before that yellow line, and caused him to kind of jump the gun early.
Oh, actually, in fact, they sent Rawlings back a place. Rawlings is now starting in third. So maybe there's an issue with the 69 car as well. And I don't see who got promoted to second. But Cox is still on pole. Sorry, that's Jack Dixon who's inherited second because Rawlings moved down to third. Pace car pits. Let's do it right this time, shall we? And here we go. And the front two both get off really well. Cox and Dixon. Cox gonna hold his inside line. Dixon, can he take over on the outside? Yes, he can. Everyone's real tight right now going through the whole field. The 50 of Phil Gibbons sitting fourth in points has fallen to the back.
It is a tight race here for the top spot as Cox and Dixon going side by side here into turn one. And this is going to be one heck of a heat race here as it's a big bunch up in the middle heading into turn two.
That is a lot of cars in a very small space. They're fighting for 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th. I don't know. The transfer spot is in there somewhere and no one wants to be at the back of it. They all take the line at the same time. Turn one's going to be trouble. A pair going 3 wide. And it's Rawlings who gets the worst of it. Wallings in the wall. Rawlings is able to keep it green, but he has fallen out of it. Cox takes the line again. He's in a large lead. Who has the transfer spot now? Scoring has Joe Kicks in the transfer spot with Nathan Ray, last year's top 3 finisher in the points, out. Up front, Cox is still way ahead, and look at that. Out of nowhere, Jeremiah Rabideau comes up into the race. Turn one could be trouble again. A lot more orderly this time. No one wants to ruin their chance of the future. No, I spoke too soon. Jennifer Hatch. We stay green. I don't know how. She's backwards. Last lap. Hatch is out of it.
As we see there, too, into second place is Joe Lawrence, as he's going to try and battle with Cox here. And Lawrence making up some ground here, but Cox with about now only a car and a half length lead. And we got to look at this spin coming up. Jennifer Hatch going into turn one, just pushing too high and then spinning out, just missing are some other cars. Hatch able to get going the right way, keeping the caution flag down as we have 4 to go. And there's a battle going on everywhere here as they just want to go.
Hey, we're yellow, we're yellow, we're yellow. Is it debris or is someone off?
Something must have happened to the 07 GoPro. Out for the lead to that.
Someone is, we just heard over the PA that Jack Dixon had an issue.
Back in the mix.
Yeah, we see him going off the backside of the track into pit lane. And so it'll be interesting to see what happened to the car of 07 here as this race is under a caution with 4 to go. And Hatch trying to maintain her spot as she's now in what would be 12th as the car is now off the track. So she has 2 spots to gain if she wants to see herself going to the feature.
22 seconds back, last.
And so the transfer spot now that we're in caution, again, Jennifer Hatch, as you mentioned, back in. Mitchell Rawlings is back in it, who had a major issue. Dan Story is in it, and Joe Kicks right there, the unluckiest man on the track. He was making moves, passing trying to get into 9th, and now suddenly he's holding on to that last transfer spot with absolute white knuckles, as he's got Josh Flanagan in 9 next to him. He was making a move on Josh Flanagan. Apparently he didn't make it in time, because they're going to class him in 10. Dan Story behind with Mitchell Rawlings, Jennifer Hatch having some sort of issue, having trouble getting up to pace car speed. So Hatch might not be able to make a move here, but we shall see. Stranger things have happened. You're going to want to watch for the number 12 of Joe Kicks here coming off the start. He's sitting in 10th. That is the last transfer spot from this heat.
We'll see here too as we have 1 lap to go under this caution. The pace car will pit next time around, and the battle for first here between Jay Cox and the 78 of Joe Lawrence. We'll see who can get the better start here on the restart. But like we mentioned, Hatch here at the back with this caution, that puts her right back into the race, as if she can have a good restart here, she might put herself into that 9th or 10th spot if she can be able to pass a couple of cars here.
Pace car pits. Jay Cox has had some issues with the starts. Let's see if he can pull it off this time. And here we go. Cox gets a good start. Lawrence does not. They're all bunched up. Everywhere they're bunched up. Going into turn 1. Can everyone get through? Yes, they can. That little bona fide hairpin up that hill is going to be a lot of problems with this new surface.
Joe Lawrence taking the lead here over Cox, as he was able to go into turn 2 and get the lead on the high side, as he now comes to the stripe with 3 to go.
And you're looking at Joe Kicks in that transfer spot. He's actually moved up into 8th. So now Dan Story, the 34, is that transfer. He is fighting off Mitchell Rawlings right now, but Rawlings is getting dropped, and Hatch seems to have some sort of problem. So this might be chalk unless we have another caution. 2 laps to go now. Story is in the last transfer spot, and he's trying to make a move, trying to get a couple more points, but I don't know, you might want to play it safe here. If you spin out, you might miss the feature.
Cox has now dropped from 1st to 3rd, as we have Jeremiah Rabideau going into 2nd place here with coming up to 1 to go at the stripe. Joe Lawrence is going to see the white flag, and he looks like he might win this 3rd heat of the Bone Stock Division.
Joe Lawrence, the former APC late model touring champion, he is an absolute bona fide driver, one of the best we've seen here at Delaware. And he is trying to make a chase for a Bone Stock Championship to complete his trophy case, and he is starting off well. Joe Lawrence wins the heat race. Now let's look back at the transfer spot. And they're bumping. Oh, that could have been dangerous. It will be Dan Story, though, holding on to that last transfer spot. I think Story might have been trying to push Flanagan into the wall and giving Mitchell Rawlings a shot. I see on the screen, we're not quite doing an endurance race today. We're not doing 24 Hours of Delaware. But Joe Lawrence picks up 10 big points. He qualifies. It'll be Lawrence, Rabideau, Wilms, Cole, Cox, Givens, Ray, Kicks, Flanagan, and Story qualifying. Rawlings, Hatch, and Dixon will be in last chance qualifying later on, presuming we have it. That is time permitting.
We see Joe Lawrence here entering the Pennzoil victory lane here at Delaware Speedway for the photo op inside the car as he takes heat 3, the checkered flag, and we get ready as now the V8 stocks get ready and set up on the back straightaway.
V8 stocks here on Delaware Speedway Racing on Rogers TV, brought to you by Oil Guard right after this.
Oil Guard's Formula 2 No Drip stays where the technician puts it, protecting your car or truck from the ravages of rust. With no messy residue on your driveway or garage floor, Oil Guard Formula 2 No Drip is proven rust protection you can trust.
Most people that have received treatment for drug use problems are probably going to have a lapse.
Join addictions counselor Dean Anderson for Invisible, Breaking Through the Stigma of Addiction on Rogers TV.
Hi, I'm Dan Mailer. I'm the host of London Lights, the show where we talk about notable Londoners who have made a big mark, a big impact on the world of music, entertainment, sports, politics. Today our guest is Jonathan Hollow, Yuri Poole of the McCartney years, the one and only Jim Chapman, Peter Brennan of Jeans and Classics fame. London Lights, Thursday at 8:30.
Welcome back to Delaware Speedway Racing on Rogers TV, presented by Oil Guard. I'm Joy Langdon, and this is Kyle Friel. Kyle, we got the V8 stocks coming up next. Interesting race format. I described it as plate racing with imaginary plates. Kyle Mesenberg kind of caused this rule change by just being so dominant last year.
Yeah, so any car that is caught under a lap speed of 24.1 seconds will be shown the black flag, which means entering the pit lane and having to then re-enter the race after taking their slowdown. And it's just, you want to have, as you only have 6 cars on the track, it's ready to go as we get a green flag here underway. 10 to go in this heat race for the V8 stocks.
Ethan Orr had pole. He's got the Lightning McQueen car. He had a major issue in practice with smoking like crazy, but he has taken the flag and he has taken the lead, keeping the Dave Silverthorne Jr. at bay, who was a replacement driver. The normal driver is out tonight with a medical issue. And Mesenberg, we're going to go 3 wide. Mesenberg trying to take the lead. And Orr held the lead there, but just barely. And now Mesenberg is going to take the lead. Jordan Morris is now into second. No, not quite. Jordan Morris, that car is an OSCAR sanctioned hot rod that has been slightly modified to fit the V8 stock rules. And he has it in second right now, despite it not being for the series it's planned on. The Lightning McQueen car is really falling off the pace now. That's Ethan Orr, who is going for Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, Ethan Orr started off strong, but now cannot maintain his speed as it's kind of been a little bit of smoke out of the back here for Ethan Orr. We'll have to see what's going on with his car there, as the race for first and second is kind of close here, as it's about half a car length now.
And the race for third is even closer, trying to take advantage of Ethan Orr's mechanical problems. Both of them, Dave Evason's going to try and follow him through. Dave Evason last year drove that exact same car in the Super Stocks division, was able to modify it and get it to run in the V8 Stocks division. The battle for third is intense. Chad Clutterbuck, who started in 7th, has retired from the race. And I believe Trevor Jones, who started in 6th, has also retired from the race.
As we go into the lead, corner 1, it's side by side, entering corner 2, as it's going to be a down to the wire finish here, as the number 73 able to overtake the leader here. And we have 5 to go coming to the stripe.
Morris and Mesenberg, this is the closest race we've seen in the V8 stocks in years. Mesenberg right on his tail. Those are expensive cars to fix if you wreck them. Mesenberg right on Morris. Mesenberg looking to dive to the inside, takes a look. He's going to go for it, but not able to have the grip. He's on the old road. It was only a partial repave, and Mesenberg was on the older road. Morris able to take the higher line with the newer track. And we got a spin in turn 1, that's Evison. Dave Evison has turned around, and he is having trouble getting it going. We stay green. Evison able to keep going. And Kyle Mesenberg's got to be throwing his hands in his head. He would have loved that caution.
Yeah, for sure. That keeps Jordan Morris here in the lead. And as we see, he's leading with 2 laps to go up to the stripe. It's going to be final lap here in this heat race of the V8 stock as we come to the white flag.
Only one competitive race on the track right now, but it happens to be 1 and 2. Mesenberg looking to the inside. He doesn't have the grip. Morris trying to pull away now on the straight. Mesenberg has been pretty fast on the straights, but can he do something here? Dives to the inside. Can't quite break in time. It's going to be a drag race to the stripe. And Jordan Morris is going to win the V8 stock heat race. Mesenberg in second. Dave Silverthorne Jr. in third. Ethan Orr, despite the car smoking like crazy, pulls into fourth, and Evison is going to limp along, finish 5th. Trevor Jones is going to be classified in 6th, despite only taking 1 lap.
On track 4. So Dave Silverthorne Jr.
So Jordan Morris
somebody better tell him he's in the pit lane
takes
already.
the V8.
Jordan Morris, Kyle Mesenberg, both disqualified for breaking out.
Wait a second.
Wow. They went real
No, Dave Silverthorne Jr. is the winner. We just heard a black flag for Jordan Morris and Kyle Mesenberg for going too fast on the last lap. Jordan, you shouldn't be there.
Yeah,
So Dave Silverthorne Jr. picks up the upset win. We just heard Jordan Morris is in the wrong place right now. He's been shown the black flag for going too fast on the last lap.
So yes, we'll have to, we see Jordan Morris there. He was getting the photo op, but as you mentioned, Joey, the top two disqualified here on the last lap. So the number 23 of Dave Silverthorne Jr. gets the heat race win based on the speed rule that's implemented this year.
We would love to show you Dave Silverthorne Jr. The only problem is we don't know where he went. I don't even think he knows he won.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think he's like, okay, it's done, it's over with. And so he goes to the pits. But nonetheless, we get ready for the late models coming up here.
So now we get the first late model heat. And I want to pay close attention here to the 5 car and the 96. The 5 is in this first heat. The 2 Jacobs cars, both sponsored by radio stations, and they looked very, very good in practice. But unfortunately for me, I don't believe that's going to be the commentary favorite up here because we've got a ringer. We've got a ringer up here. The number 18 car of Patrick Friel is up here. You want to tell me about his preparation for this season?
Yeah, he's been working hard, countless hours between his job at Cami. He does some side work at McCall's Racing and be at his shop at home, putting all the time, blood, sweat, and tears into it, making sure he has this car ready to go every Friday night here at Delaware Speedway. And he's looking real fast. He was fast last week, and like I mentioned, he was on the wrong side of an unfortunate event that caused him to be out of the race as he had some front end damage, but worked hard this week to get that front end fixed, and this car on the track as we get a look at him here, the number 18 of Patrick Friel.
So no transfer spots, no, I don't want to call it a gimmick, no black flag time rules, just a heat race coming up for 10 points for the winner. And with how close the championships have been in the last couple years, last season decided on the last day, you want to win every single heat race you can. You don't want to leave any points on the table.
No, exactly. If here you want to open the throttle wide here if you can to try and pick up as many points as possible. And we get the last flag, the last lap flag around, so the pace car will pit. And coming around turn 4, the green flag will be out, and these guys will open up on the gas as we get ready for this heat race.
Pace car pits, and here we go. Payne Jacobs, Jane Chapman battling for the lead. Both Jacobses are in this race, and they're battling each other for second now. The 2 teammates battling for second. Maybe they want to work as a team to try and catch Jane Chapman, who's in first. As they roar past us, Tom Zagordny is falling off the pace. He looks like he might have some sort of issue. Everyone else is in it. Chapman trying to pull away, letting the pack fight each other. Oh, this could be an issue in turn 1. We got a pack of 5 cars going into turn 1, and they all play nice and get through. It looked like Caleb Wood edged out Patrick Friel there to move up a spot. 5, 6, 7, and 8 all in a blanket. As Chapman and the Jacobses are starting to pull away from the field.
Yeah, it's going to be that battle in the back of the pack as we see the 18 of Patrick Friel. He's able to pull up a couple of spots in this heat race. The front of the pack here is kind of pulling away, but we're going to go 3 wide here to the stripe.
Friel, Wood, and Rawlings fighting, and it looks like Wood is going to get the best of that, followed by Friel. Rawlings took it way too high, and that opens the door for Darrell Lake. At the line, it's Chapman, Jacobs, Wood, Friel, Rawlings, Lake, Schrenk, Zagordny, who after troubleshooting the last couple laps has caught up to Marshall Schrenk and joined the race. Halfway through, Chapman leading Mark Jacobs, leading Peyton Jacobs. Peyton Jacobs getting kind of dropped by his cousin. challenge for the third spot. He lapped almost a second faster than Peyton Jacobs that time, and there he goes. Caleb Wood down the inside, trying to squeeze Peyton Jacobs out.
And Patrick Friel going down low. He's going to try and squeeze out as he's making his way up. Now he's made his way to fourth as he started second last in this heat race. But the leader here is absolutely dominating as he now pulls out to about a 5 or 6 car length lead.
Peyton Jacobs fell victim to the train there. He got sent all the way to the back off of 3 cars working together. That was Wood, Lake, and Friel working together. As look at how far that lead is for Jaden Chapman going in the last corner. And then Mark Jacobs decides he's got on now Patrick Friel, who has entered the podium spot.
Yeah, Darrell Lake here, though, we got to watch him as he's been squeaking up on the rear bumper of Patrick Friel. Going into the backstretch, Darrell Lake gonna try and go low.
Jaden Chapman coming around the corner, he wins the race. Followed by Mark Jacobs, and the battle for third is won by Patrick Friel, Darrell Lake. And then that's Caleb Wood, Marshall Schrank. Peyton Jacobs got shuffled all the way to the back, couldn't make it up. Lloyd Rawlings fends off an on-charging Tom Zagordny. And that is your Heat 1 result. Jaden Chapman opened about a 4-second lead on third place and a 2-second lead on second place. That was as dominant as you can get in a 9-car field.
Yeah, it was a good race all the way around here in the first heat of the late model division, as a lot of movement here and around the race throughout these 10 laps, and we are going to look forward to the second heat race of the late model division. We see the 13 of Jaden Chapman take his victory lap.
And as the cars for the second heat race take the track, we will be right back. The second heat race of the late models and more on Delaware Speedway Racing on Rogers TV, presented by Oil Guard, right after this.
Top to bottom, no drip rust protection at Oil Guard goes right to where your car or truck needs it most. From the engine compartment to the door panels, and 8 points in between, Oil Guard has you covered. One Oil Guard treatment will help you duck the rust for 1 full year.
When you choose Pizza Hut, you're supporting a local, family-owned and operated business. We've been serving our community for over 35 years and take great pride in what we do. From our family to yours, thank you for choosing Pizza Hut and supporting local.
And I'm excited to be the new host of LDN ONT TV. Join me and my guests as we discuss the topics trending here in London, Ontario. Tune in Thursdays at 6:30 only on Rogers TV.
Welcome back to Rogers TV. We got Delaware Speedway Racing presented by Oil Guard. I'm Joey Langdon. This is Kyle Friel. Kyle, we're about to see the second of the late model races. Anyone you're looking for in this field?
It looks like Jason Lidster sitting on the pole position here, and we'll see if he can hold off the field. But it looks like it's going to be another good heat race. I'm watching the late model series kind of closely as my brother-in-law racing in that division. It's always good to see these cars are fast, they're ready to go, and with these 8 cars looking to gain position for the feature and points here, it's going to be one heck of a race going forward here as we are getting the white flag waved here, the pace car setting the tone for these 8 cars on the track.
The 19 of Connor Pritico, he's starting in 5th. He was the fastest in practice. And then the 45 Barry Watson scheduled to be in this race. I don't see him on the track though. He is the defending V8, or not defending, the current V8 Stocks champion, but he moved up two late models.
I believe he's sitting in second position there, right beside the 11 car.
Oh, you're right, the 45. And I mean, he's got the racing quality, but not too used to these cars. Let's see what he does. Pace car pits, and here we go. Very big start for Lidster. Looks like they're going to allow it, though. So Lidster gets off huge. Watson holding on a second, but he's got Steve Arand coming up right with him.
You saw there too, Steckley looking fast out there in the number 22 as he's now into third position on the track.
So Kyle Steckley, he's trying to pull away for third as Steve Arand falling off the pace. Cole Powell, who had a great season last year, is going to pass on the outside, try and get ahead of Arand, and he will. So Arand falling off pretty quick as now he's under pressure by Matt Robley. And Connor Pritko is, oh, we got spin, and that's Matt Robley. I just said his name, we go yellow.
As we hit the caution there, Robley spun around out of turn one, heading into turn two. We're gonna get a look here.
It was a weird spin. Was he touched?
As we're looking here.
And yeah, it looks like
the 37
Steve Arand
was getting into the back driver's side tire of Robley, spinning him around good enough that Robley was able to get the car started back up, driving in the right direction. And we'll see this caution here in this heat race, and that's going to open the door for some of these drivers. I think Steckley here, as he's gained a couple of spots. He's in third coming up to this restart. He's looked pretty fast so far in this heat race, Joey.
I want to be clear that I'm not saying this to accuse anyone of anything, but that yellow was great for Steve Arand because he was falling off the pace hard. Now he's back up around the leaders, and if he can get a good start, he can erase his really bad start off of the initial launch.
Yeah, it's exactly right, Joey. The restarts are so key, as you want to try and get that fast go around off the restart. And we get the cars doubled up here as we wait for the white flag. It has been out. The pace car pits, Joey, and we're getting ready for racing.
Lidster takes the yellow line, and here we go. Watson didn't get a great start, but he holds up the entire high line. And that's big news for Kyle Steckley, who takes second.
And that's the number 73. He's also able to gain some ground as he now is battling for third position.
Oh, Barry Watson's getting trained. He's getting shuffled to the back as the inside line just quicker right now.
As we look here, Ray Morneau, he's looking to gain some position as we have Cole Powell, Ray Morneau, and the 45 of Barry Watson battling it out.
Steve Arand, the issues that he was having before the yellow are getting worse. He has shuffled himself to the back. Connor Pritko, who is fastest in practice, he has fallen off the pace as well, although he's finally catching up a little bit to Matt Robley and Barry Watson.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Robley, the one that spun around, he's able to gain some ground, and he's still looking pretty fast, even though after taking some contact.
Lidster in the lead. As you see, Watson, who started in the lead, has fallen off. Lidster with Steckley. Steckley going to make a move on the inside. Steckley has a shot. Lidster holds on for now. Can Steckley break late? And do they get into each other? Great racing, and Kyle Steckley takes the lead.
As we're coming to the stripe, we're going to have 3 to go. As you mentioned, Joey, Kyle Steckley taking the lead. Coming out of turn 4, we see the whole pack, as this has been a closely contested race here in the late model division.
Steckley now starting to pull away a bit from Lidster. He's able to choose the line he wants. Lidster's too far away to make a bomb. Behind him is Ray Morneau, who's come up into third. And there's a battle for fourth now. Cole Powell and Matt Robley. Robley, after the contact, he's back in this race, and he's taken fourth place. They're side by side, going up the back straightaway. Can Robley hold on to it? He's got the inside, and he breaks late. Great move by Robley. And Connor Pritko taking advantage as Cole Powell hit the wall.
1 to go. Steckley with a big lead. It looks like he'll take this heat race, but the battle for second and third between Morneau is going to heat up here down to the stripe.
And Steckley wins by a couple. Litster holds on for second. Morneau in fourth, in third. Matt Robley in fourth. Connor Pritico in fifth. Cole Powell got shuffled back to sixth, but he's able to just barely hold off Barry Watson. Steve Arond is going to be classified in last. Something is up with that 37 car. They've got to get that sorted out by the feature.
Steckley able to come around to the Pennzoil victory lane here at Delaware Speedway as he gets a 10-point boost in the standings as he wins this heat race. And the photographers doing the photos here as we get set. It looked the bone stocks are lining up again, so I believe they are going to go
last chance qualifying.
Last chance qualifying.
And we'll have last chance qualifying for you right after this on Delaware Speedway Racing on Rogers TV, brought to you by Oil Guard.
Motorists across Ontario trust Oil Guard Formula 2 No Drip for proven rust protection. Oil Guard has been road tested against Ontario winters by hundreds of thousands of vehicle owners just like you. Oil Guard knows how to help you duck the rust.
Jeff from Chillin' and Grillin' with Jeff. We're back for season 3. We've had the opportunity to see some great backyards and have some great barbecue. Join us, Chillin' and Grillin' with Jeff.
Wednesdays at 7:30 p.m., it's the RTV quiz. Giovanni Petiti hosts a weekly trivia competition that lets you play from the comfort of your couch. Play along at home and challenge your friends. And don't forget to follow along on social media. Let us know who's top of trivia, and you can find yourself featured on a future episode.
Are you kidding me, folks?
The RTV quiz, Wednesday nights at 7:30 p.m. on Rogers TV or at rogerstv.com/RTV quiz.
Welcome back to Delaware Speedway Racing on Rogers TV, brought to you by Oil Guard. We've had the first heat races done. I'm Joy Langdon, this is Kyle Friel. And Kyle, crazy heat races so far. New rule sets we're trying out this year for the V8s and for the bone stocks. Any highlights so far for you?
Yeah, it's going into the bone stock, as we mentioned, the last chance qualifying coming up in just a little bit as we see the cars getting ready in pit lane. But it's going to be interesting to see both of the we got a Starrett car still in the last chance qualifying here, and as they were pretty fast in their heat races, and we'll have to wait and see what is going on in the bone stock feature. But it's been a great night of racing so far, as it's just been the heat races. It's just been 10 laps of in each race, but it's still made for great racing so far at Delaware Speedway.
That's right. So we got one more sprint-ish left. It's kind of they're calling it a B main, so it'll be 15 laps rather than 10. That'll be the bone stock last chance qualifying. Then we've got the feature races. It's a really quick turnaround for the last chance qualifier. They've got to go into the pits and then go right back out for the feature. And can you talk to, like, every other car is getting a chance to fix up their car, get some fuel in, get some tires, and take their time doing that. For the last chance qualifiers, they don't really get that time. How much of a difference does that make?
It's gonna be quite a difference as it gets hot in these cars. It's a kind of a cooler night though, so but in that gear, the helmet and all the harness and everything like that, it's warm in the cars. So being able to have that break outside of your car, get some fresh air, and just kind of look at your car and get that last chance tweak here or there, it's going to be huge. So the cars that qualify out of this last chance qualifier are going to have to do some quick adjustments, but just have a hope and a prayer heading into the feature race that their car is going to be good enough to hang around and have a good finish. Hopefully in the top 5. That's usually top 10 is what people want to go for, but top 5 if you want to push your limits a little bit. So yeah, we're going to have to wait and see what happens with the bone stock division.
So interesting mix of cars coming in the bone stock last chance qualifying. We'll run you through them when we get back on Delaware Speedway Racing on Rogers TV, presented by Oil Guard.
Oil Guard's Formula 2 No Drip stays where the technician puts it, protecting your car or truck from the ravages of rust. With no messy residue on your driveway or garage floor, Oil Guard Formula 2 No Drip is proven rust protection you can trust.
I'm Shannon Woolley, host of Batter Up Beachville on Rogers TV. Join myself and Doug Harris as we learn more about the first recorded baseball game in Beachville.
Hi everyone, my name is Dr. Mario Elia, and I'm the host of a new show here on Rogers TV that we're calling Keeping London Healthy with Dr. Mario. I'm a local family physician here in London, and I'm very excited to be working with Rogers TV on this new format, which will give us an opportunity to explore all sorts of topics related to medicine and health. So tune in Wednesdays at 6:30 p.m. We'll see you then.
Welcome back to Delaware Speedway Racing on Rogers TV, brought to you by Oil Guard. I'm Joey Langdon. This is Kyle Friel. Kyle, I'm looking at the cars in this field for the last chance qualifier coming up here. 15-lap sprint, top 6 make it to the feature race, and we've got a large different mix of cars. We've got both one of the Starrett Racing team cars. We've got a couple of the BT Racing team cars. We've got one of the Triple B Racing cars in there, and then a whole load of independent cars that are looking to still try and get in that feature race.
Yeah, so we're going to see the one car that we noticed. It's the red 15 in this series. We'll have to see who that would be. It looks like he might be a guy that just came in.
Sterling Roberts. He was sitting on the pole, I believe, in the first heat race and then just fell right off. So we're going to have to wait and see if he will be able to keep up speed in this last chance qualifying race. As he's talking, we see there to an official in pit lane. Trying to figure out where he's supposed to go, really. Yeah, we'll get him in line at some point. And then the cars will be out on the track here. I want to quickly point out, looks like one of the cars that's going to start near the back, Cassie Howard in the 59. A couple years ago was a Rookie of the Year candidate. One of the best in the field, definitely one of the best rookies in the field. Had a really massive wreck, and since then just hasn't really had the pace. But we know she has the skill. She just needs that one good result to get back on track. Can it be in this last chance qualifier? It might be, and as we get a look at the cars coming out on the track, if we can get a look at the 42 of Jason Craig, he was in and around the top spot for his heat race, but he fell off quick. So he was fast to start and then fell off late in his heat race. So we have he's able to see if he's able to make some ground up here. As we say, the top 6 from this 15-lap sprint will make it to the feature later on here tonight at Delaware Speedway. So as they take the stripe and their transponders hit our timing sheets, we'll be able to see who's actually running in this race. And never mind, they didn't turn on the transponders yet. But I know that's Mitchell Rawlings up in the pole.
The 59 is Cassie Howard. That's the 22 of Jordan.
As they start to get bunched up a little bit. So we mentioned the cars we have so far. I'm not sure what the set for the order is. Sometimes they do practice timing, sometimes they do reverse practice timing. Mitchell Rawlings is going to be on pole next to Jennifer Hatch, and we mentioned Jennifer Hatch. That actually is probably the most intriguing driver out there to me. Jennifer Hatch was easily in the transfer spot during her heat race and then had a spin and then just couldn't get the car going again. If she can avoid trouble, I think she's got this locked. Yeah, I don't disagree with you, Joey, as she looked fast in her heat race, but you mentioned that spin around just causing her not to get back up to speed on the track and caused her to be in this race. So we'll see what's going on here as we now start to double up. The pace car is going to exit here as we come into turn 3, and we're going to get the green flag soon enough here, Joey. Mitchell Rawlings on pole, Maverick Jennifer Hatch alongside him. Behind them is the 07 of Jack Dixon, and then the 89 of Bonnie Sterrett. Pace car pits, Rawlings has control, and here we go. Great start for Jennifer Hatch. Real bad start for Mitch Rawlings, but he's able to hold on to lead as Hatch goes a little high. And Hatch coming up on the outside takes the lead. Jennifer Hatch and holds it through the corner. Mitch Rawlings falling off quickly. Currently sitting in the transfer spot is the 06 of Sarah Wheel. And there's some trouble in turn 4, but everyone makes it out okay. Some slow cars slowing the field down. Up in the lead, Hatch holding on. Rawlings trying his best to hold on. Jack Dixon, the fastest man on the track right now, is hunting down the Maverick. Currently sitting in the transfer spot is the number 24 of Hank Clausen, and he's actually under a lot of pressure by his brother, William Clausen. That transfer spot has about 8 cars within into the wall goes Hank Clausen, and William Clausen is now in the transfer spot, and Jason Craig is now in the hunter's position.
As we get a look here, it's just pandemonium in the back of the field here as everybody is looking to gain into that 6th spot. But we look at the leaders again here at Delaware Speedway. It's the 17 car of Jennifer Hatch, the 17H. She's been real fast so far in this last chance qualifier.
In that transfer spot, Sean Fusil just took it, and he overtook Bonnie Sterrett. So Bonnie Sterrett is now in that last transfer spot, and she's under heavy pressure from the 42 of Jason Craig. And Sterrett holding on. Sterrett in the 89 gets overtaken by Jason Craig. Jason Craig is now in the last transfer spot in the 42. Up in turn 3, Craig trying to pull away from the rest of the field. Cassie Howard now has some speed coming out of turn 4, but is stuck behind Jordan Fiddler. 10 laps to go. A lot of things could still happen, but Jason Craig is hoping that none of them do.
Yeah, Craig is kind of sitting comfortable in that 6th spot. He's far enough away from the front of the pack, but he's also a good enough distance away from the back of the pack, so he's just going to try and keep his car steady to get in that 6th spot. And we'll see it here as we have 9 to go in this last chance qualifier.
Cassie Howard in the 59 is on charging. Fiddler holding her back, and now Cassie Howard in the 59 is free, and she's going to chase down Jason Craig for that last transfer spot. The 59 coming out of turn 4 is one of the quickest on the track right now. The fastest out of that entire group for sure. And now Howard actually turns the fastest lap of the race. And she is on the prowl hunting Jason Craig for that last transfer spot as the leaders start to overtake some lapped cars. Howard coming out of turn 4, not as quick as she was when she was first chasing. And the blue flag comes out for the 64 of William Clausen. He has fallen afoul and fallen back, and the leaders are coming on him. Craig now is going to try and put some lap cars in between him and Cassie Howard. And some trouble. Rawlings almost through. Craig into the wall. And that slowed him down a bit. Now Cassie Howard chasing down in the 59, chasing down Craig, making it a little closer. That's for the last transfer spot.
We see here, though, as the battle for first and second, that's going to get a little closer as Hatch is still in the lead by just a little bit over the 32 car. And that's going to be one heck of a finish as we have 5 to go. As we head into turn 3, the battle for 1 and 2. Can the 32 car make that turn on the inside into corner 4?
Side by side the whole lap. Coming out of lap cars. This is not what Jennifer Hatch wants to see. And Sean Fusil takes the lead. But honestly, just don't wreck your car, Jennifer Hatch. You don't have to fight for this lead as hard as you need to. And Jason Craig's being slowed down by some lap cars now. In the 42, Cassie Howard just hasn't been able to close that gap as much. She's probably hoping for a yellow flag at this point.
As we see there, as Craig is just having some time here, he now makes his way into the third position, and we see the gap here as Craig is gonna try and make his way to the
Hold on a second. Jesse Hertzel, who was running in 5th, just pulled into the pits. Cassie Howard is now in that last transfer spot. And so does Tyler Wheel. So Jack Dixon in the 07 is now in the last transfer spot. What a turn of events. Last lap. 2 cars pull into the pits and change this entire dynamic. Sean Fusil in the lead. And he will take this one comfortably. Sean Fusil wins the B main. Jennifer Hatch takes second. Jason Craig is going to take third. Shane Gibson in 4th. Cassie Howard in 5th. And Jack Dixon holds on to that last transfer spot barely from Mark Allen. What a finish! Oh my! Fusil, Hatch, Craig, Gibson, Howard, Dixon move on. Mark Allen, Jordan Fiddler, Bonnie Sterrett, William Clausen, Hank Clausen are eliminated, as are Jesse Hertzel, Sarah Wheel, Luke Cabas, Sterling Roberts, Mitchell Rawlings, and Tyler Wheel. And I would like to correct myself. I said Jesse Hertzel pulled in the pits. That was Mitchell Rawlings. So Mitchell Rawlings and Tyler Wheel pulled into the pits. That opened the door for Cassie Howard and Jack Dixon to qualify. And here we have the winner, Sean Fusil. He's happy to win. I think he's more happy that he qualified for the feature.
Yeah, you'd have to think so. As he pulls away from victory lane, he's now in the feature race later on tonight here at Delaware Speedway, and he'll now go around turn 2 rather, into the back stretch, into the pits to try and work on a few things if need be. But more racing to come.
We'll be right back here on Delaware Speedway Racing on Rogers TV, presented by Oil Guard, right after this.
Blow out all candles before you leave the room or go to bed.
Never leave a burning candle unattended.
When you go out, don't forget to blow out.
Hi, I'm Dan Mailer. I'm the host of London Lights, the show where we talk about notable Londoners who have made a big mark, big impact on the world of music, entertainment, sports, politics.
Jeff from Chillin' and Grillin' with Jeff, and we're back with Season 3. This season, we've had the opportunity to see some great backyards, to have some fantastic food cooked on some great grills, and this season, we're helping you take your barbecue game up by adding some great barbecue tips from some local experts on anything from spices to knife care and using the proper wood to smoke some great food. Join us, Chillin' and Grillin' with Jeff, Season 3.
Rogers TV, it's Delaware Speedway Racing presented by Oil Guard. I'm Joy Langdon. This is Kyle Friel. Kyle, we just saw the Bone Stock last chance qualifier. Before that, we saw 3 heat races for the Bone Stocks. I mean, what's your takeaway from that?
I think the big takeaway is what Jennifer Hatch was able to do. got spun around in her heat race, was not able to get the car back up to speed to be able to qualify in her heat race, but comes into the last chance qualifying race and puts on a show. And yes, she didn't win it, but she was able to finish within the top 3. So she shows that she can be in this division and race with the best of them. So I think that was the big pull away, if anything, from the bone stock, in my opinion.
I also want to shout out Joe Lawrence, who, coming from late models, was former late model touring series champion, comes down to the bone stocks, and I mean, you could see it. It was an absolutely dominant race. You do not want to be lining up alongside Joe Lawrence.
No, Joe Lawrence is a name that a lot of people know, like you said, Joey, racing the late models for quite some time. And coming into the bone stock, he just knows how to race, knows how to put in some fast laps, and handle every turn, every straightaway with ease, it looks like at times. And he's going to be one to watch in the feature race. I think he might have a good shot at potentially coming away with the checkered flag in the feature race tonight for the bone stock division.
All right, we're in intermission right now. We'll be right back for more Delaware Speedway racing on Rogers TV, presented by Oil Guard.
Motorists across Ontario trust Oil Guard Formula 2 No Drip for proven rust protection. Oil Guard has been road tested against Ontario winters by hundreds of thousands of vehicle owners just like you. Oil Guard knows how to help you duck the rust.
For over 50 years, White's Rental has been providing local contractors and members of the DIY crowd with professional quality lawn and garden tools, aerial lifts, and construction equipment. White's Rental, we have the right equipment to make your project easier.
Rogers TV has given me the opportunity to be involved within my local community, where I have met plenty of new people, experienced new things. I have done various production roles such as graphics, live audio, and camera work. Recently, I have been a part of the London Knights Rogers TV crew, and I have had a wonderful time there, being part of such an amazing and diverse group of individuals. I highly recommend it.
Delaware Speedway Racing on Rogers TV, brought to you by Oil Guard. I'm Joey Langdon. This is Kyle Friel. We saw the V8s race earlier. Small field, but really interesting. They're running some experimental rules. One of them being what I believe they call the breakout rule, where you can't run under a certain amount of time. It's kind of like an imaginary plate. And the top 2 got disqualified right at the end on the last lap.
Yeah, so the rule is, if you're just joining us here on Rogers TV, no car can be faster than 24.1 seconds. So there was one car in particular in this division that was just blowing the other cars away. So they wanted to kind of make it a tighter race, as there's only a few cars in this division. So if you are under the 24.1 lap time, you will get the black flag and have to go to through pit row and then re-enter the race. So you have to make your slow down through pit lane and then re-enter the race. As you mentioned here in the heat race, the very last lap, the times came through. The top 2, not just the first place car, but the first and second place car, disqualified for being under that lap time of 24.1 seconds. And that then causes the third place car,
Dave Silverthorne
Jr., to end up in victory lane, as we had word from the truck. They were trying to find out what number he was, try to find his car to get a shot of him. Nowhere to be found, because I don't even know if he knew he won the heat race.
He might still not know.
Exactly, because of this new rule in place. So it's going to be an interesting thing here going forward for this V8 stock race, and these guys that are in behind the wheel, to make sure that they are keeping within that rule and not being lower than that time on the laps.
Before we go, I will just say I checked the time for Mesenberg on the last lap. You said, what did you say the breakout was? 24.1?
24.1.
24.09.
So like just by a hair. That is crazy. But hey, a rule's a rule, and that causes you to break it. So therefore, you are disqualified on that last lap of the heat race.
Yeah, so that'll be interesting to see how they run that in the feature. We'll be right back here on Delaware Speedway Racing on Rogers TV, brought to you by Oilguard.
When you choose Pizza Hut, you're supporting a local, family-owned and operated business. We've been serving our community for over 35 years and take great pride in what we do. From our family to yours, thank you for choosing Pizza Hut and supporting local.
Hi everyone, my name is Dr. Mario Elia, and I'm the host of a new show here on Rogers TV that we're calling Keeping London Healthy with Dr. Mario. So tune in Wednesdays at 6:30 p.m. and we'll see you then.
My name's Ranger M, and I work at Catfish Creek Conservation Authority. I'm the community outreach technician, and that means I do a lot of this, chatting about all things nature and conservation with kids, adults, teachers, everyone. I love to knowledge share, and that's just what I'm going to do with you. So come on, let's go learn with Ranger M.
Rogers TV. It's Delaware Speedway Racing, brought to you by Oilguard. I'm Joy Langford. This is Kyle Friel. Kyle, the late models, you have a vested interest. Let's try and put that aside for a sec, because I know your obvious answer. Who was your most? Which driver impressed you the most through the late model races so far?
I think that'd be the number 22 of Kyle Steckley. He was absolutely fast in his heat race and was able to gain up a couple of spots in his heat race. And he's going to be a guy in the feature to look out for. He just looks real fast throughout practice and in the heat race. So I think the number 22 car of Steckley will be one guy to watch.
And Connor Pritico was interesting to me. I don't know if it was because he started in the back or what. He was the fastest in practice by a lot. In his heat, he was in the back the entire time. I don't know if they changed anything in the car between practice and the heat race. I don't know what, but if they did, they need to take it back, because he was a lot faster in the practice than he was battling with the other cars. We mentioned the track surface. It's different on the different lines of racing. So we mentioned we saw a lot of people using the choose rule to go to the outside rather than the inside, which you would never see at Delaware before this year with the new paving on the outside of the circuit. What does that change when it comes to race strategy when there's clearly a defined outside line that is usually faster?
Yeah, so a car is going to choose the outside line as it's just going to kind of make them be able to get faster and kind of stay within that line a little bit more. Maybe not get as loose or as tight into the corners. You want to kind of be able to stay within yourself in the car, heading into the corners, into the straightaways. And it's just with this new paving, the oils haven't really come out of the pavement yet, as we haven't had really hot weather as of the start of this season here at Delaware Speedway. It's been a quite cool the last couple of weekends for racing, so that's just kind of going to play a factor in to the tires getting grip on the line, whether it's the outside or inside. And so it's going to be interesting to see what happens in this late model feature event tonight, to see on restarts where the lead car picks, whether it's the high side or the inside line on the track.
I think I've seen more passes on the outside today at Delaware than I have seasons. And another thing that brings up is one of the Trevor Culver of the Superstocks was absolutely notorious for this. There's many in the late models that do it as well. The inside dive bomb into turn 1 at Delaware it was insanely risky before. Now that the track surface is different on the inside line, does anyone even bother?
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see, as cars are obviously going to do what they need to do to try and gain advantage or gain spots, depending on where you are in the race. I think early on in the race they might play a little cautious, try and save the tires and the fuel and everything like that. But the later in the race, if you think you have a shot at gaining a couple positions, which is then in turn points in the standings, you might see some some maneuvers and some riskier maneuvers from cars to gain any positions that they possibly can in order to gain points in the standings.
All right, and thank you to everyone who's watching on the different platforms. We have Rogers TV, obviously Rogers TV, the website, and also on YouTube, on our Rogers TV YouTube page. Shout out to everyone watching on there right now. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe. I always want to say that. We will be right back here for more Delaware Speedway Racing on Rogers TV, brought to you by Oil Guard.
Top to bottom, no drip rust protection at Oil Guard goes right to where your car or truck needs it most. From the engine compartment to the door panels, and 8 points in between, Oil Guard has you covered. One Oil Guard treatment will help you duck the rust for 1 full year.
Hi everyone, my name's Ranger M. I love to knowledge share, and that's just what I'm going to do with you. So come on, let's go learn with Ranger M.
It's going to be a brutal fight.
I'm coming home with the bell.
Yuri Prohaska!
He's here to take over.
Valentina Shevchenko!
She is a straight-up assassin.
Tyler Santos, flyweight's newest contender.
One of the most epic fights in the history of the UFC.
The UFC's going to Singapore.
This card's stacked from top to bottom. I cannot wait.
Delaware Speedway Racing on Rogers TV, brought to you by Oil Guard here in beautiful Delaware, Ontario, just off the shores of the Thames River. I'm Joey Langdon. This is Kyle Friel. A couple different rule changes this year. Less rule changes, more enforced rules. We want to talk about the tires are a lot. The tire rule is a lot more clear this year.
Yeah, exactly. For the bone stocks, which we're going to be seeing here in their feature race momentarily, they're going to have to go to what they call a standard race rim instead of a normal car rim, as they've seen a lot of the car rims breaking on contact and everything like that. So that just causes more debris to be on the track and more cars to have more damage than necessary sometimes on impact with other cars or the wall. So now the bone stock cars have to go to a standardized traditional race rim for their tires, which will see kind of a hollowed in middle that won't see as much damage potentially on impact.
Because for those who don't know, the bone stocks are basically just cars off the street with some safety stuff put in. Now, one of those safety things is also going to be the rims. As we saw last year, I think it was Katie Sterrett's car that had the tire fly off, and not only fly off the car, fly into the pit box and hit Marshall Schrenk's late model, which caused a lot of damage that I think Delaware Speedway would like to avoid.
Oh, most definitely. As you mentioned, Joey, yeah, these bone stock cars, it's a car that you would see driven on the road, but yeah, it's stripped down, a roll cage put in it for safety, and then you just put in a race car seat in your harness, and away you go. So it's going to be interesting to see how these cars maneuver here on this track, as it's getting a little bit cool here. It's just after 9 o'clock on this Friday evening. It's a beautiful night, not a cloud in the sky to over top of the track here. So it's going to be some nice clear conditions for these drivers as they are still lined up in pit lane, awaiting the call to the track for this feature to get underway.
Yeah, it looks like there might be still a little bit of confusion as to where everyone needs to line up, as the 44 car just joined the pit. And then the tire rule for the late models, I was a little confused by it, and I know the drivers still are, because I was walking down through the pit lane earlier, and I believe Connor Pritico's team was still having to have it explained to them what are they allowed to do with tires, how many they're allowed to have.
Yeah, so coming in, they're allowed to have, there's limits, as you're only allowed to have, I believe, in 6 new tires to start the year, and then 4 you can add 1 per week. So you can't just buy a bunch of tires and be able to have new tires once you go on. So they're trying to, I think that rule is put in place to try and kind of even out the field, so everybody has to use the same amount of tires. The wear on the tires could be the same, and it's just going to cause, I think, for better racing, as tires play a huge part, whether you get grip, how much they're worn. But as we see here, cars making their way to the track for this feature of the bone stock division.
Right, and as we were talking before we went live, you don't see the late model and super stocks are about the only series you'll see here that'll make green flag stops, and even then it'll only be for the longer races. You don't want a team to be able to just throw fresh tires on every single time when half the teams here can only afford however many. So standardizing the amount of tires you're allowed to buy, and you can buy one more per week after week 4, I believe. Yeah. Starting with 6, and I mean, it's not like it's just a car. You've got entire pit crews here working on the car. I believe that's Jaden Chapman's car, who you will see coming around the corner, and a couple other cars there that are being heavily worked on by their teams as they got the feature later on. The bone stock teams, some of them have had time to work on their car, some of them have not. We had last chance qualifying not long ago, so a couple of teams, especially the ones up front, will have a big advantage compared to the teams at the back. And you see how big this field is. They're lined up straightaway to straightaway. You got Chris Lawrence on this timing line, and you had Cassie Howard back at the scoreboard. So it really matters a lot where you qualify and where the dice throws you, because it's not totally pole qualifying. There's a little bit of randomization there. And it looks like the big benefactor of this one is going to be the 17 of Colin, I believe that's Colin Wilms. And I don't see Jennifer Hatch out here, who did qualify in her 17H. As you see here, this is the lineup we were given, but that's not correct, because Wilms won the dice roll, so he is starting on pole. It is a big field. There is not a lot of room to move, and especially once we get later on in this race, when some teams are going to struggle with tire wear. Turn 1 is an absolute monster. It's uphill, it's tight, it's wide, but not just wide enough to trick you into thinking there's more room.
As we get a look here at the field, we have I believe Joe Lawrence. He's starting near the back of the field, so he is one of the names that we talked about earlier on in the broadcast, and he'll have some spots to make up, but if any driver can do it, it will be Joe Lawrence. As we get ready here, they double up as we're still under the yellow here. The pace car out leading the way.
So as mentioned, Colin Wilms is going to have pole.
The white flag is in the air, so it's the last caution lap before the beginning of this feature race. The lights off for the pace car. They'll pit next time around, and this race will get underway in moments. It's going to be wild and hectic, I believe, as we have a lot of cars and not a lot of space, Joey.
25 laps, and especially once those last couple last chance qualifiers fall off the pace and you see some lapped cars, that is where the trouble happens. Again, turn 1 is an absolute monster when you get this big of a field. So it's Wilms, Verburn, Chris Lawrence, and I can't see who's starting in 4th, but I'll get that to you shortly as the pace car pits. Wilms comes around the corner, sees the yellow, sees the green, and here we go. And Verburn gets a heck of a start on the outside. You mentioned outside's kind of where you want to be. Chris Lawrence up in there trying to make a move on the inside. And Chris Lawrence, look at this, gives a shove to Colin Wilms. And it's Wilms and Lawrence. Lawrence pulling away, surprisingly, from Verburn. And Lawrence is going to try and crisscross and go up the outside. And Chris Lawrence takes the lead from 3rd on the first lap. And the yellow is out. It is. Oh, that's a big hit. The 92. We did it. That's Jordan Wilms. His right front is not looking too happy. If he can drive to the pits, he'll be very happy about that, because it looks like that tire was really fixing to come off.
He's coming around the track to the back into the pits. He still looked like he was able to maintain a lot of speed, but yes, he'll have to fix some damage there with the tire, and hopefully he's able to potentially get back out into this race. But one lap in, when we have a yellow here at Delaware Speedway in this bone stock feature race on a Friday night. And Joey, it's going to be, I think, chock full of these yellow flags, depending on how aggressive these drivers want to be in this 25-lap feature.
I want to say, how about Chris Lawrence? Didn't win a single race last year and still won the championship. You know he's hungry for a race win. Coming up from third to first in less than a lap.
Yeah, just super fast, and he was able to go, I believe, on the inside first, make his way up high, and as they were getting to the stripe to finish the first lap, he was able to gain that first position. As we look here, as the cars double up, Lawrence in first, Wilms, he was in second, Verburn in third, Stewart fourth. Rounding out the top five is Ellis, and then 6 through 10 is Pelly, Lovey, Vanderwitz Jr., Wollaston, and Langford.
Some familiar name. How about Len Sterrett, a replacement driver, up into 11th right now in a car that has not been competitive the last couple of seasons, driving the wheels off of it. And, oh, look at that. Jordan Wilms pits for a new right front tire. It's not exactly a matching set, but he's going to rejoin the field at the back.
Good to see as he makes his way to the front of the pit lane. And as you mentioned, Joey, he will join the crew at the back, so he will have quite a few spots to make up if he wants to finish within the top 10. But nonetheless, like I said, good enough for him to get that tire fixed quick and back out onto the track as the pace car lights are off, so they're going into the pits, and that means racing is about to start once again.
That's a championship caliber car at the back. This could be very interesting. As the pace car pits, Lawrence sees the yellow line, and here we go. Lawrence gets a great start. Coming around the corner, and he's able to extend his lead as second and third start battling. Real bunched field as here's the race for third. Verburn and Stewart. And Stewart going around the outside. Can he do something about it? Oh my Lord. In the entire field, I saw a 5 wide. How are we gonna get through this without losing a couple cars, as the number 18 was pushed into the wall, Josh Flanagan, but able to keep it going straight.
Yeah, going into the backstretch, corner turns 1 and 2. The middle of the pack was bunched up, but we see here 3 cars, 4 cars, almost 5 cars battling here. And this is just going to get some kind of hectic as this race is 22 to go.
Oh, we got a tire down again, I believe. The 43 had a lot, or sorry, the 48 of Connor Ellis had a lot of smoke coming out of the right front of that car. He's still going though. And oh, another tire down, Jason Levy. I don't know if that's a tire. He's smoking like crazy. We stay green. He's got to come into the pits, and we'll go yellow actually. Oh, he was coming into the pits though. Oh, Chris Lawrence has got to be seething. He was a straightaway ahead of second.
Yeah, so I don't know exactly if that was a tire cut or not as we get a look at the replay. As we come around and he just starts smoking. So when he came into the pits and we saw him, I didn't see a tire look like it was down or not. Just a lot of smoke coming. It looks like from the driver's spot of the car.
Oh, and that's what the yellow is for. There's either debris or oil on the racetrack. They needed to get that cleaned up.
So it might have been an oil leak there out of that car, causing the smoke there, because like I said, I don't think a tire went down. And so the good crew here at Delaware Speedway will go to the track and do what they need to do in order to get this track back ready to go under green. So we'll stay under caution for a little bit longer, as the cars now are out and ready, just trying to keep their tires warm at a caution pace here with the ever so sharp looking pace car here at Delaware Speedway, leading the way with the lights on, flashing. And it's going to be see what transpires here as we get a look at the updated leaderboard coming up momentarily. Lawrence in first, Wilms in second, Stewart, Verbeen, and Vanderwich Jr. rounding out the top 5. 6 through 10 is Langford, Pelly, Ellis, Cole, and Lovey.
Not Lovey anymore.
Lovey is the one that had to go off. So
the field is frozen, so he'll be classified as 10th until we get restarted, and then Cox will inherit 10th.
Exactly. Cox will then enter the 10th spot. Starrett moving up to 11th, but currently right now in 12th. Rabideau in 13th. Gibbons in 14th. Lawrence 15th, and then 16th through 20 is Flanagan, Fusil, Craig, Wollaston, and Rhea. So that's the top 20 here at Delaware Speedway in this feature event for the Bone Stocks. As
30 cars on the track. Lawrence was quite a bit ahead, but he wasn't quite so far ahead to lap anyone. So every car is still on the lead lap. We'll bunched up again. Lawrence alongside Williams, and I haven't seen Lovey back in the pits, so he might be done for the day, although you never want to rule that out, especially in stock car racing like this, because, well, we have a problem.
Into turn 2.
That's, no, it's the 26. Oh, are they worried about?
Oh, they're directing them away, I believe, from
maybe
oil.
Lovey, yeah, Lovey's oil.
The oil there. I was wondering, I'm like, they're slowing up? What's going on with all these cars? But no, the track crew is out there, the cleanup crew, guiding them away from the debris, and I believe the what they call the kitty litter to soak up the quick dry powder as they're brushing it and sweeping it just out of turn 2 into that back straightaway. There's a long streak of the quick dry as we see the cart driving through again, laying some more quick dry. As I definitely think it was Lovey's car leaking some oil on the track.
I'm glad you called it quick dry. Last year I accidentally called it jet dry, and I don't think I heard the end of it for 3 weeks.
Yeah, jet dry goes into the dishwasher to help the rinse and dry cycle, but nonetheless, Joey, it's all good. Everybody is human, and people misinterpret and missay things all the time. I'm sure I do all the time, but nonetheless, quick dry on the track.
Hold on, what's going on with Joe Lawrence's car? Joe Lawrence was stopped by the marshals, and they had something to say to him.
Yeah.
Is he getting put back? I don't understand what happened. Maybe he drove through the oil and they stopped him to talk to him. I'm not sure, but Joe Lawrence, it looks like he's not going to lose any positions. He was stopped, but now he's speeding up to retake the position he was at. Joe Lawrence in the 78 there. The marshals stopped him. I thought they were telling him to go in the pits because he had broken some rule, but no, he's still out there and he's taking his spot back alongside the last chance qualifier winners.
So as we still see the marshals out there guiding traffic as they are still trying to soak up the oil on the track with the quick dry here. And nonetheless, this is a long caution. We're only 3 laps into this feature race, and we get a look here. Nice zoom-in shot of the safety truck and the safety crews and officials out there guiding traffic and doing the best job they can to make sure everybody stays safe here at Delaware Speedway, as that's a main concern here for everybody. They want to be able to come race their cars and come home nice and safe and see their families, and that no serious injuries are ever wanted on the racetrack. So Joey, we're gonna have to continue to wait here as the crew continues to do their work.
So I caught a glimpse of Jason Lovey's car in the pits, and usually when a car comes in the pits, You see everyone on the crew jump on it, try and fix it. No one is near it. So I think they've decided that this is unfixable for tonight. And so we will not see Jason Lovey tonight, but we will see you, hopefully, right after this, as we hope to get going again very shortly here at Delaware Speedway Racing on Rogers TV, presented by Oil Guard.
Blow out all candles before you leave the room or go to bed.
Never leave a burning candle unattended.
When you go out, don't forget to blow out.
I'm Jennifer Slay, the host of What's Up London. Join me each week as I meet Londoners who are doing extraordinary things and helping to make the city a better place to live. Watch What's Up London Mondays only on Rogers TV.
Wednesdays at 7:30 p.m., it's the RTV quiz. Giovanni Patiti hosts a weekly trivia competition that lets you play from the comfort of your couch. Play along at home and challenge your friends. And don't forget to follow along on social media. Let us know who's top of trivia, and you can find yourself featured on a future episode.
Are you kidding me, folks?
The RTV quiz, Wednesday nights at 7:30 p.m. on Rogers TV or at rogerstv.com/RTV quiz.
Here we go, we're back at Delaware Speedway for racing on Rogers TV, presented by Oil Guard. We look as the cars start to double up here after that long caution. We're gonna see some racing momentarily as we look here at the leaderboard. Lawrence in first, Wilms in second, Stewart third, Verpeen fourth, Vanderwoods Jr. in fifth. 6th through 10th has Langford, Pelly, Ellis, Cole, Lovey, but Lovey is the one that caused that caution as oil was all over the track and the white flag is in the air, and that means one lap left under this caution. And so Cox is in 11th, Starrett in 12th, Rabideau in 13th, Givens in 14th, Lawrence in 15th, Flanagan 16th, and the rest of the field here as we get doubled up. 22 to go. The pace car lights are off. They will pit then when they have the chance, and the green flag will fly as the cars are going to come out at turn 4, ready to restart. 22 to go here in the Bone Stock feature race.
Pace car pits. Lawrence has control. And here we go. Lawrence had a huge lead before, and he's looking to take it again. Wow, look at that car. It's an absolute rocket right now. The battle for 6th is interesting. The 16 and the 17 are all over each other. Williams trying to hold the outside. Stewart is going to hold on. 4 wide in turn 3, 5 wide in turn 3. How did no one spin? Turn 1 deadly. Oh, we got a big hit. Big hit. And spun around is the 77.
Brent Pelly gets spun around, and he spins his car around. He's driving the right way, but it's again a caution with 21 laps to go, so that'll bring yet another restart as I believe we'll get a look at the replay as it's bound to see as it was Pelly.
Wilms.
Yeah,
it was Wilms hitting Pelly.
As he comes through, as they're coming into turn 1, yeah, right into the driver rear tire of Pelly and spins him around. So therefore, the caution flag flies once again, and we get another look at this. And yeah, just into the back driver's side tire of Pelly's car, and spins him around. It looks like his tire is cut down, so he's back into the pits, and hopefully able to fix that tire real quick, get back out onto the track, and finish this race and try and pick up more spots.
With the amount of time we have here tonight and the amount of cars that are running into each other in the Bone Stocks, hopefully we have time for the other 2 races. It might just be Bone Stocks all night. There were some people saying that in the YouTube chat as Brent Pelly goes for a tire change. Shout out to Remy and Alex Tort, who have just been spamming Bone Night in the YouTube chat. I don't know what that means, but I'm gonna take it to mean that we're doing bone stocks all night, as Chris Lawrence would really like that to not be the case. He has been so far ahead every single restart, and therefore been able to avoid all the drama, and yet he's back in it. Every single time he's got to queue back up.
Yeah, exactly. But he's been so good, so far so good on the restarts, and we'll see if he can have yet another good restart here once the caution flag is done. The flag man here is still holding the yellow. The white flag is in his hand, so he's looking to see what the cars are doing here, and he might be able to double them up soon and get the green flag in the air, as we want to get back to racing. As we look at, that's the number 92 car of Jordan Wilms in the
I think he got black flagged for hitting that car. And now a black flag at this level doesn't necessarily mean disqualification. It might mean penalty. It might mean warning, and I think he's getting a penalty and being sent to the back for causing that caution.
Yeah, exactly. With they might have deemed it a deliberate hit, and
or at the very least a reckless hit.
A reckless hit, exactly. So he'll get sent to the back of the field. We do see the 77 car of Brent Pelly making his way back to the end of pit lane, and he's back out on the track. So he was able to get that tire problem fixed real quick and
now
back up to speed.
What I'm interested in now is Brent Pelly and Jordan Wilms, unless actually Jordan Wilms is going to pull in the pit lane again, because Pelly and Wilms could have started right next to each other. Has Wilms been fully black flagged? He's heading into the pits, or maybe he also has damage.
Somebody into the passenger window there. He's
he's got a tire issue.
They're looking at the front tires on his vehicle. The driver front looking a little loose on his car there, so his pit crew trying to determine the problem, fix it as quick as possible. Oh, the tires are stuck in a turned position there. Wow. So I don't know if there's an actual issue or what that may be causing. That's
probably from the hit. That is where he hit him, on the right front.
Yeah, so tire rub is going to cause that, and
that might be the end of his night.
That could be the end of his night if his pit crew cannot get that fixed, as you got to be able to steer your car in order to have a decent chance at winning. So
he's driving again. He's going to at least try. And look at this whole mess of cars. Only one car has retired so far, Jason Lovey. And we've got some fast cars at the back too. Like it's not like there's two races going on here. Some guys are gonna have to fight through about 40 different cars, it seems, to get back into this race, as Wilms is gonna re-enter the track. He's gonna enter from the back. He's gonna be quite a bit farther back. I don't think he's gonna be able to catch the field in time. Or maybe he will. Yeah, he's going pretty quick. Yeah, he'll catch the field just enough.
Yeah, he will not end up a lap down. The pace car is pitting, and they're going to green.
And here we go. Lawrence had some fantastic starts earlier. Can he do it again? Stewart looking to try and stay with him. And Lawrence pulls away again. And then Lawrence's teammate Langford is now into third. Langford now all over the back of the second place car. Now this could be something. Stewart under a lot of pressure from Langford, and I believe that's the 55 car.
Craig Cole in the 55, as he's now going side by side. He's looking to gain some position here as they come into turn 4. But we look here, and he's able to give a nice pass into third position.
Lawrence right now is in an absolute time trial mode. He needs to hit the line 19 times before too many cautions hit, and he runs out of gas. And look at this gap. He just needs to keep hitting the line, because the laps don't count under yellow. So he needs to just keep getting back to the line as quick as possible. Look at this gap he's opening up.
But we do see a nice second and third battle here, as Craig Cole is now into second place. Oh my goodness, Craig Cole making some moves into second place. But as you mentioned, Joey, he's still way back on the leader here. But Lawrence opening up a huge lead, but Craig Cole gaining spots like nobody's business.
Craig Cole definitely better on the starts than Alex Stewart. So Cole would love a yellow right now because he is not out of it. And look at this, from the back, starting in 20th, Jeremiah Rabideau is now in 3rd. And speaking of starting in 20th, Joe Lawrence, Chris Lawrence's brother, is now also in the race, absolutely cut through the field like a steak knife.
Well, is there any question? He's raced late models for years as Lawrence, and he's just making this field his own here. But can he catch his brother, Chris Lawrence? That is the question.
Oh, contact out of the corner. Rabideau trying to push Cole out of the way for second. Rabideau going for the dive bomb along the inside. Rabideau gets free, and he opens the door for Joe Lawrence maybe. Cole now in a lot of trouble, but he's able to just barely fend off Joe Lawrence for the time being. Lawrence looking inside. Joe Lawrence got a lot of room to catch his brother. Can he make it? Maybe a Lawrence 1-2. He's held off for now. Rabideau, Cole, Lawrence sitting 2, 3, 4 as Joe Lawrence is quite a bit ahead. Meanwhile in the back, oh look at Lawrence now. He's on the move.
Craig Cole into turn 2, got too high into the wall there, and caused Joe Lawrence able to pass him. So this race for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th has been a doozy. As we know, the other Lawrence is able to stay way ahead of this of the race. He's coming up on the back of the field, almost ready to lap some cars.
Look at this, and do you know what? Chris Lawrence better give his brother a great Christmas gift this year. Joe Lawrence fighting with the field has allowed Chris Lawrence to start trying to clear some lapped cars and really put this one as far away as possible. Again, Lawrence's strategy right now is just hit the line as much as possible before the next caution. As Joe Lawrence going on the inside of Rabideau, Rabideau defending like mad, and Rabideau able to just barely stay ahead, but again, he's losing a lot of time defending with Joe Lawrence, and Craig Cole trying to pick the bones if anything happens. Look at those 3 cars absolutely battling. Joe Lawrence now, he's gaining on the straights. And I wonder if he looks up, sees that 28's in the lead, and knows I can't be the one to cause a caution. He is driving real cautiously right now, to pardon the pun. And now he gets to the back of Rabideau. Rabideau stays steady. Never mind, I guess, as Lawrence went right into Rabideau as they start to clear. That's Len Sterrett. Oh, Len Sterrett had the chance for the best result in his team's history. He's pulling in the pits with some sort of issue.
Yeah, so that might be the end of Len Sterrett's night, but this battle for 2nd and 3rd is just one for the ages as
they clear the lapped car.
Yeah, they clear that lap car, and they're just staying bumper to nose here as Joe Lawrence is trying to maintain that position on Rabideau there. So we'll see what happens as these lap cars are falling further and further behind. But I
would love to know what's going in the helmet of Joe Lawrence. He's got to know that his brother's up front. He's got to know how far his brother's up front. Does he go for it and risk a yellow for the team? As you see Chris Lawrence hitting the line again, 7 to go now. Getting through the lapped cars with some ease now. As Joe Lawrence right on the bumper, Brent Pelly! Oh, Brent Pelly got a little loose and could have caused some trouble there. And now Rabideau is going to try and use the Lawrence's teammate, Cassie Howard, as a blocker. Cassie Howard has a chance to make something happen for the team if she wanted to put herself involved, but she'll be the polite racer and get out of the way.
Yeah, as we still, I think this is going to be the best race here.
The wind picked up like crazy now.
But this race for 2nd and 3rd here is just one that is mesmerizing. I think we're going to just stick with this, I think, the rest of the way, unless something drastic happens as we go 5 to go. And it's going to be down to the line here for these two cars in Rabideau and Lawrence.
Lawrence getting right into the back of Rabideau. Lawrence is much faster on the straights, but he's been really cautious on the corners. Willie makes them down here, going in, taking a look. He's not going for it. Oh, Rabideau got a little loose. Look, Joe Lawrence, can he take the lead? They're side by side. Going into turn one. Lawrence on the inside. They've got lap cars to deal with. Joe Lawrence takes second. We've got a Lawrence 1-2 with 4 to go.
Now it's the lap traffic that they're going to have to avoid here.
Oh, and
Rabideau gets into the 74.
Oh, that might have been a little bit of frustration. He didn't turn at all. And Joe Lawrence pulls away. We've got a Lawrence 1-2 with 3 to go.
And Rabideau, I think, is frustrated as the lap traffic just stayed where they were. They didn't give him a lane to go through, and that caused Joe Lawrence able to gain second position. And he's now getting in beside, and now he's back in.
And look who came out! Look who came out of nowhere. Craig Cole has now re-entered the conversation. Craig Cole sitting in fourth. We mentioned he was trying to pick the bones of the Lawrence battle. And now, he's made a conversation. Chris Lawrence is going to take the line here. White flag is out. Chris Lawrence, this might be the most dominant bone stock win I've ever seen. Joe Lawrence's brother helping him out. A great team win for BT Racing, provided no last-second dramatics.
Yeah, that's going to be a nice win
Coming
for
around
Chris
turn 3.
Lawrence.
Coming around turn 4. Chris Lawrence. He didn't win it all last year. He wins tonight. Chris Lawrence wins the feature race at Delaware Speedway.
You see his hand out the window throwing up the number 1, just elated for that win here at Delaware Speedway, finishing second, his brother Joe Lawrence. And I think, like, it's good for Chris for the win, but Joe Lawrence starting as far back as he did and just made this field look absolutely just didn't stand a chance for this field. Joe Lawrence will get to see what he could do. And yeah, just absolutely phenomenal as we have Chris Lawrence pulling into Pennzoil victory lane. And
you saw him he let his brother go past him as he was driving in victory lane. What a moment for that team. A 1-2 for the Lawrences and for BT Racing. That team, they won the championship last year. They didn't win a single race, so this is long overdue for Chris Lawrence and the 28 team. As he'll be coming out here for an interview shortly. He's got the trophy as the wind really picked up here out of nowhere at Delaware.
Yeah, as we see the official there, the trophy now on the floor.
And there he is. Oh, I mentioned the wind picked up. Chris Lawrence just launched the flag, and there he goes. Oh, he's going to the fence.
He's going up the fence.
Chris Lawrence wins tonight's feature. Oh, you know how long he's been waiting for this. This is so overdue. Oh, he fell.
Oh, no. He looks no worse for wear, though. The excitement and the, as we go down, he's getting interviewed here. Yeah, let's go down to Jordan Mosley in the interview with Chris Lawrence.
Wait for those guys. If we got a restart, I knew I'd be in trouble. I just kept watching the scoreboard, hoping for that checker flag, and I got to thank everybody on this car. I know the Corys are up there. I know a local guy, Jesse Kennedy at Dad's. He sponsors a division as well as my team. Planscape, Auto Fusion Towing, Pete's Restoration Repair, Advantage Powder Coating, McCall Racing Enterprises. Who else we got here? Wild Sprinting, Jomo Media, Epic Racewear for these sweet suits. There's so many people that go into this team. It's a small team. We brought out 6 cars tonight, so I got to thank the people standing here in victory lane with me, and thanks to everybody up top for coming out and watching. I know we're just entry level, but we hope to be the show for you guys.
Amazing drive, amazing win here down here in victory lane by
Chris Lawrence, joined by crew chief Carl Bartlett and team owner Sarah Catherine. What a win for the 28 team, and we'll be back for more racing here at Delaware Speedway on Rogers TV, presented by Oil Guard.
Don't be distracted and leave your cooking unattended.
Stand by your pan and look while you cook.
Favorite part of volunteering at Rogers has been picking up new tech skills like running cameras or graphics and getting to volunteer with and meet people in a super fun sports-based environment.
My daughter is 7 years old and has a frenemy. They have play dates that always end up in a fight or tears. This friend bosses her around and treats her poorly, but she still wants to be her friend. What's a parent to do?
I would let them acquiesce to a certain amount, and then, when they're at this age, you still need to be supervising their play dates. So I might step in, not to correct the bossy child, but it's my child that I'm concerned about. I would just expose her to other people, teach her to have a voice, and let her know that she's got options.
Welcome back to Rogers TV, Delaware Speedway Racing, presented by Oil Guard. I'm Joy Langdon. This is Chris Friel. And Chris, what a wild bone stock race. We were on that battle for second for so long. The Lawrences taking the family win there, the 1-2.
Yeah, exactly. Chris Lawrence started near the beginning of the entire race. He showed why he's so strong. He was able to lead pretty much wire to wire, it seemed like. But the big thing there was, it was Joe Lawrence starting at the back of the field, just cruising his way up to what would be a second place finish. And one heck of a race with so many cars in the field on such a small track here at Delaware. Such a great race, and only a couple of cautions, one long one as there was some oil on the track, but nonetheless, it was a Lawrence 1-2 finish, and then Rabideau being the third place finisher there, finishing out the top podium. And now we're getting ready for the V8 stocks here, as it's only going to be a 7-car field, six car field. It looks like.
It looks like it's going to be 6. We lost one from the heats as they had some issues. Dave Evason's on pole. Speaking of the V8 stocks, I just had my my friend who's watching it on the YouTube channel from New Jersey text me. He said, "Where's Paul Fothergill?" Well, these guys are trying to be the next Paul Fothergill. New rules in the V8 stocks this year. It's the breakout rule. You can't go over a certain speed. That's for safety and competitive reasons. And we had a upset winner in the heats because the top 2 both broke that rule on the final lap. So the 23 ended up winning that one.
Yeah, that's Dave Silverthorne Jr. Winning the heat race. It looks like he'll be starting in 3rd position, 4th position rather. That would be on the outside in the 2nd row. And
Dave Evason's up front, and I want to talk a bit about Dave Evason's car before we get going. That exact car raced last year as a super stock, and they had to make a bunch of modifications to make it eligible for the V8 stocks because it wasn't up to speed with the super stocks. Jamie Wansley said that car with a couple modifications could be eligible for about every series here. It is a very unique car, and he'll be on pole. Pace car pits, and here we go. Mesenberg looking to leave Evason in the dust early. Mesenberg gets real loose on the outside, actually. Mesenberg having some trouble. Mesenberg goes up and misses the wall, and Evison holds the lead through the first corner. And he's actually going to extend his lead a little bit. Coming into turn 4. And Trevor Jones in the 427 fell off in a hurry. Mesenberg up into 3rd. And then that is Dave Silverthorne Jr., who was up in a 2nd and got dropped by Mesenberg there. Chad Clutterbuck was supposed to be the 7th car. He had dropped out. And Dave Evison, who last year was at the back of the Superstocks all year, has really opened up a big lead here early. And a big hit and a big spin. Silverthorne takes out Lightning McQueen. aka Ethan Orr. We stay green. I want to know how that happened, because it really looked like Silverthorne just spun Orr. Let's take a look right now as we stay green, 23 laps to go. Or does he come down on him? Yeah, that's more on Ethan Orr.
Yeah, Ethan Orr trying to get down into the inside lane and just makes contact, spins out, but able to stay green are the V8 stocks. And here we go. We see the 15 car of Dave Evison in first. And I wanted to say, as before the spin out there, the number 73 of Jordan Morris.
And we have another issue with Orr. I didn't see what happened, but he's backwards and he had some trouble getting going again. We go yellow, and that's good news for Mesenberg.
We'll get to see a look here as he crosses the start-finish line into turn 1. And just
lost it.
Just lost control there. Spins around, and that brings out the yellow, the first caution of this feature race.
The Darcy Desjardins special, spinning out by yourself into turn 1. And I'm not making fun, because that's a very hard corner. It is the only corner like that in all of Ontario. It's uphill, it's really tight, it's really banked, and it's not an exact oval.
So as we get ready for this restart here, we have another look at the spin out of Ethan Orr. He just comes into turn 1, tries to go low, and not able to gain grip and make that turn, and spins out.
We mentioned the different surfaces here. I noticed he actually spun out changing surfaces. He went from the old tarmac to the new tarmac, and I said tarmac. I don't actually know. I don't think that's actually tarmac, but he went from the old surface to the new surface, and then he lost it. And I wonder, we mentioned earlier, that could be an issue going forward this season, as it looks like we lost the car. Actually, we're down to 5. I'm not sure who we lost.
It looks like it might have been the...
Well, we lost Clutterbuck early. I believe we also just lost Trevor Jones, the 427.
Yeah, 427 is not out there, so that is Trevor Jones out of the field.
I didn't see anything that happened to him. It might just be a situation where that car got banged up in the heat race and he kind of just had to start and park and pick up some points.
Exactly. So as we get ready for this restart, it is Dave Evison leading the way here, 21 to go on the restart.
Oh, there he is right there. There is something wrong. They're checking the engine, or something in the hood at very least, as the pace car pits. Evison has control, and here we go. They're all clumped up. Mesenberg, it's a real mental game here, because Mesenberg, I think he has the fastest car, but he's scared of getting black flagged now. He's scared of going too fast. Morris is along with them. Morris is going to let them go ahead. Evison, not the quickest through the corner, but Mesenberg, again, I think he's trying to use Evison as kind of a pace car. Try and figure out what the speed is supposed to be, because it's not like he has a timer in there. So he's got to try and guess at what speed he's supposed to be at. And now Morris is going to try and force the issue, giving Mesenberg a little shove.
I do want to say we have Jordan Morris. He was flying through the field as he started by the back, and now he's right in the thick of things here on a podium position, going to the outside, looking to pass here for second. He's trying to get some speed, but no, says Kyle Mesenberg of the 810 car. And this race here is going to come down to the wire, and Morris able to kind of grab that second position at the stripe. Mesenberg and them battling hard here, but Morris going through on the high side, getting second place. What a drive from him so far this race. Can he catch the leader, Evison? We'll have to wait and see.
Black flag for Evison. So Evison went over the plate limit, and he's gonna have to serve a drive-through.
So So that's going to hurt him as we see him slowing down going through pit row. So that's going to be Morris now in the lead. And that might cost Evison if he can't make up ground.
And Evison, as a matter of fact, is going to be cycled to the back as we lost another car. Dave Silverthorne Jr. is now out.
The 427 back coming through pit lane as well.
So Jones is going to come back out, try and take fourth from Silverthorne Jr., who had left the track. And Evison and Jones are going to be a lap down. As a side-by-side, Mesenberg trying to take the lead. And he does. No, he did briefly. Morris, this is side-by-side. They got to be careful not to go too fast. This is a very strange race.
Yeah, exactly. It's always something to look out for now with this restriction in place, with the laps of 21.4, I believe is the time that they have to kind of stay at. They can't be under that. So Morris here is driving real fast, looking real good with the lead, but Mesenberg, no slouch either. He's just right side by side.
Meanwhile, at the back, Evison is looking to unlap himself. He's at the very least unlapped himself from the car of Ethan Orr. Orr is having a lot of trouble. Evison has unlapped himself from Orr. Moore is, I believe, 2 laps down, so he still has a bit to go. And as a matter of fact, he's gonna pull back into the pit. So he tried the troubleshooting laps, didn't work out. But did he pass Silverthorne? We'll have to check. Did he go enough laps to go ahead of Silverthorne?
Yeah, that'll have to be something we check out. But this time penalty for Evison isn't looking like it's gonna phase him. He's still driving real fast.
Now he is a lap down. That is worth noting. So he's got to pass them twice. As the leaders go side by side again to the flag. This could be the way the whole way. We're halfway through. And Evison, I just heard, might be black flagged again. He did catch up a lot, maybe to his detriment. And a black flag again, and I believe that is again at Evison. And he unlapped himself, but at what cost? Now, does he know that was at him? He might think that was at Mesenberg. We'll have to see. He's going to come around. Is he going to slow down? No, he's still going. So does he know that was for him? He has to now. He pointed right at him. So Mesenberg is still in the lead. That is worth noting. Evison, even if he wasn't black flagged, was a lap down as the leaders go side by side again, and Morris goes ahead this time.
This is going to be something we're going to have to watch right down to the final wire across the start-finish line as we see Evison pulling into the pit lane again, having to serve yet another penalty for this for the time violation.
The strategy for Ethan Orr now is just keep driving, and maybe you'll get a podium spot because now you've lapped Evison again.
So yeah, right now he's sitting in third spot, and right now it's going to be third place because he's still quite far behind the leaders who are
this
still
is a 2-race drag race.
Yeah, side by side. Are we in Grand Bend watching the drag races with these two cars? They're just side by side, having one heck of a race for these two drivers. It's Morris, and Mesenberg, who are just going back and forth, first and second. Who's going to come away with the victory as it's 7 to go here in this race?
And if you're Ethan Orr, you're watching them going, keep battling, go faster. Because Ethan Orr, you could walk yourself into a win here if these two guys push themselves a little too hard.
Evison back on the track, and he is ahead of Orr.
But I believe he's still a lap down.
So yeah, he's still got to get around again, but just goes to show how fast Evison is, clearly, because he's had to serve 2 penalties for the time violation.
Mesenberg pulls ahead, but it's been interesting. Mesenberg pulls ahead on the front straight, and then Morris pulls ahead on the back straight. It's like it's scripted.
As we come in at a turn 4, Mesenberg still has the slight lead now. They're not so far side by side now as Mesenberg trying to pull away, but Morris still giving a fight. 4 to go here at Delaware Speedway in the V8 stock feature event. This is one heck of a race, folks.
Theoretically, you want to go exactly 21.41 every single time. But that's so impossible for a human to tell without a timer that you just got to rely on your instincts. And your instincts haven't been formed yet because this is the first time we've done this.
With 3 to go, these two are still side by side. Morris pulls ahead by a nose.
And now Mesenberg ahead by a nose. And now Morris again. They are locked.
Can we see maybe a photo finish here? This could cause a photo finish if they have to stay, if they stay this close side by side.
Or still keeps his lead ahead of Evison. Evison wasn't able to unlap himself at time. So it'll come down to this last lap between Mesenberg and Morris. Last lap, here we go. Mesenberg has the advantage. And remember, you can't go too fast. You don't want to hand this win to Orr. Mesenberg, Morris pulls ahead. Morris is just going to go for broke here. Mesenberg gets a nose in. Morris
out of turn 4.
And Jordan Morris
away with the win. Morris
is going to win now. Let me nonchalantly check the timing sheet. Well, that's a 21-1. So Kyle Mesenberg, I believe, is the winner.
That was something, Jamie.
I don't know. This is new to me too. They're declaring Morris the winner, I believe. I'm listening. I'm listening to the PA because they'll know before we do. But his last lap was a 21-1.
So that'd be okay because I think it's 21-4 is the time they have to stay on.
They stay over.
So
unless the timing sheet is wrong, they have that as a 21-1. And then Mesenberg in the last lap running a 21-4. Evison should be black flagged again. He ran a 21-0.
But here we go.
They're going to give the trophy to him. He is the winner. I believe that they would have better timing sheets than I do. So, Jordan Morris is going to be declared the winner.
We wait for Morris to get out of his car, collecting himself, collecting his thoughts here, and getting his Hans device off, his helmet off, his harness unbuckled here, and he's about to come out of the car with his team in hand. There he is, Morris out of the car, ready for the post-race interview.
How much fun was that trying to
keep it under the breakout time?
It's a lot more difficult than it seems.
At any point in time, did you really think you were getting close, or were you trying to push it?
I bet you there's a few times we were getting pretty close. I mean, you pretty well have to stand on the brakes when you get to the start-finish line.
And while you're in the car, do you actually know where you are in relation to that time, or does spotter help out at all or anything with that?
No spotter and not a clue.
Well, it looked like you guys are having plenty of fun. I'm sure you got a lot of people you want to thank here.
Arctic Snowplows, we got Jap Branding, Ace Auto Parts, we got Huffy's Hot Rod Shop, Dad, Adam, everybody that helps out.
That's Jordan Morris down here in Victory Lane in the 73 after an excellent V8 race.
That was Jordan Morris taking the checkered flag and the trophy for the V8 feature race winner. This is Delaware Speedway Racing on Rogers TV, presented by Oil Guard. We'll be right back here for more.
Don't get caught unprepared this summer. White's Rental is your one-stop shop for lawnmower tune-ups and repairs. You can visit us at our new location, 785 Little Simcoe Street.
Hi, my name is Gerald. I'm a volunteer here at Rogers TV. Really happy with all the great things I've learned doing video productions for Rogers, all the great people I've met, and being part of a great community.
Looking for the best way to get the Major League Baseball games you want to watch? Rogers Super Sports Pack has you covered. With MLB Extra Innings, you'll have a premium ticket to out-of-market regular season games with all games available in HD. Don't miss the action from the games you want from both the American and National Leagues. MLB Extra Innings, part of the Super Sports Pack. For only $35.95 a month, Rogers customers get all this for one all-inclusive price. Order using your remote starting on channel 431 or visit Rogers.com today.
Welcome back to Delaware Speedway Racing on Rogers TV, presented by Oil Guard. Here in beautiful Delaware, Ontario, the sun has long set. We're getting a cool breeze here. I'm Joey Langdon. This is Kyle Friel. And I will say your name again, Kyle Friel, because we're about to pick who we think our winners are, and I think I know yours.
Yeah, I have a soft spot, obviously, for the 18, the Crown Rust Control car of Patrick Friel. Also want to point out TKO Jersey Co. on the back of his bumper, a good sponsor there, as for any of your jersey, hoodie, and sports clothing needs, TKO is a good company to use. But yeah, so soft spot for Pat Friel.
That's your one.
Yeah, that's the one, but if I think Kyle.
Oh, we're red flagged, actually.
Oh.
Something's up in turn 1, I believe. Oh, that's why. The 22 stalled out. Up on the backstretch. What happened there?
So that's who I was actually going to say might have a good shot of winning
Marshall
as well.
Schrank.
No, that is Steckley.
Oh,
Kyle Steckley.
That's Kyle Steckley. They're both 22.
Yes, they're both 22, but the Kyle Steckley is the APC sponsored car there, and APC is on the hood there. So it's Steckley getting the push, trying to get started here.
That is a nightmare. Kyle Steckley had a fantastic race earlier. He's able to get it started now, so he's going to try and at least take the start. His team's hoping it's not a start and park night. You never want to have a start and park night, but he's going to at least start, which is step 1. They're going to give him his spot back. They're not going to hold him up. I don't remember where he was starting. So, he's starting up by the front, actually. So that was a weird little incident there, but I will have my winner. The 96, the FM96 car, Mark Jacobs, had a really interesting season last year. He always seemed to be in it for the first half, and then he would fall off at the end. It's a 35-lap race. You would think that doesn't really bode well for him, but we've also seen a lot of chaos with the new track surface. He was in one big wreck last year, but other than that, he finished, I believe, every other race. So if he can win a war of attrition, he's starting up number 2. He's just got to be up for every restart if we have a bunch. So look out for Mark Jacobs in the FM96 cars. The Marshals, they're still checking something. They're now at the 37 car of Steve Arand. So I wonder what's going on there. We're still on a red flag, so something is up, but I'm not privy to what's going on. I wonder if they're just trying to figure out where Kyle Steckley is supposed to start, because he's still kind of off the list.
He's in between the 77 and 11, kind of on the inside there. So the Marshals out there just waiting to.
They're also talking to Darrell Lake in the 77. On our list, we have him starting 12th, that's about where he's supposed to be, where he is right now. Actually, no, he's quite a bit ahead of where he's supposed to be. So I wonder what's going on, as Darrell Lake is getting a long discussion with an official. The 77. We are still in red flag conditions, and we haven't even taken the first green.
In front of him, the Bill Fair CPA entry, that's Jason Wooster out of St. Thomas.
I don't think anyone's in trouble. I think they're just explaining what's going on, but there was a long conversation there.
I'm getting word that they're going to be doing a driver start your engines.
Okay, so we're having some fun then.
Yes.
Nothing bad happening.
No, it's going to be let the drivers start your engines chant go, as we have some guys down in Victory
Drivers
Lane.
start your engines. Kyle Steckley, be very careful. Oh, please be very careful.
Next Gen 7, number 18.
So they're doing they're introducing all the drivers right now. That is what the delay is. I'm now hearing that.
96 on the outside of the front
So
row.
they're down to Mark Jacobs. So
96 entry, that is Mark Jacobs. And on the point from Sarnia, the Rockwood Automotive number
13, it's Jaden Chapman. Jordan, you've got some guests down there from Hyde Park Equipment. Why don't you say hi to them?
Jordan. I'm down here on the front stretch with the folks from Kubota. First of all, they're gonna be dropping the green flag tonight, but right now, they're going to be doing the general command. So, ready, guys?
On behalf of Kubota and Hyde Park Equipment, I would like to say, drivers, start your engines.
all right. We're back up in the booth now. Thank you. That was Jordan Mosley, correct, giving the interview. So thank you, Jordan Mosley. And thank you, Jordan Mosley, all night for helping us out with the pit lane interviews. Hoping to give you a bit more of that throughout the season. As the drivers are now finally going to get going, I believe they're... did Steckley's car stall again? The record's behind him.
Giving him the pushing start to see if he can get going.
All right. At this point, his team's just like, just take the green. Just take the green. We'll figure it out later. Just take the green.
So yeah, it could be a starter issue for Steckley there, as he's able to get the push start and the jump start. So it's putting gear and go. Hopefully there's not any more times he has to stop on the track, but nonetheless, it's here we go. The car is warming up the tires here.
The back stretch is also stopped. Are they? Caleb Wood is the front of that. Is there something up with Caleb Wood's car as well?
Yeah,
there are 5 cars at the back stopped.
Yeah, so on the front stretch, but
Caleb Wood's car also. Wow, have you ever seen this? 2 different cars stall out at the start. Caleb Wood, is he able to get going? Oh, you can hear the engine struggling, but he is able to get going. And are you? That's not another one, is it?
The number 17 car.
Oh, there he goes. All right. Scared me.
I was gonna say 3 cars in a matter of moments that are having starter issues, but no, nonetheless.
That's Zagorodny, who putting the fear of God into us. 35 laps. We have not started the scoring yet, and yellow flag laps are not scored. So it's 35 green flag laps is a better way to put it if you are used to NASCAR. As we see up front, Jaden Chapman, who had a dominant heat race. He's starting up front, or what's 17 doing? Tom Zagorodny.
He's got to get to the back of the pack.
Oh, he had to pass the pace car.
Yeah, he had to pass the pace car because he was a little slow off the starting lineup there. So he's getting himself back into position.
You confused me again, Zagorodny. Anyways, Chapman up front. Mark Jacobs in second. His cousin Peyton further along the back. We'll get to him when we get to him. The 18, Patrick Friel, the commentator's favorite, is up into third. He had also a good heat race, and you mentioned he's been having a good preseason, looking to try and get it going here. Darrell Lake behind, had an interesting heat race, was up front for a while, then got shuffled to the back. And I believe that is Kyle Steckley, who we'll see how long he goes. He obviously wants to go the whole 35, but he had some issues. Behind him, or next to him in a couple of seconds, will be the 11 of Jason Litzer, who also had a good heat race. And then the 03 of Ray Morneau, who came on late in the heat race, had a bad start, but was able to put it together at the end. The 19 of Connor Pritico, fastest in practice. He's still starting mid-pack, had some trouble working through the field in his heat race. And that is all I will get to because we are about to get going.
Yeah, as we see the cars doubling up here and I believe the white flag will be waved as they come around to the start-finish line out of turn 4. Right now, the white flag in the air, it is waving, so the pace car will pit next time around, and we will get to this 35-lap feature of the late models, as this will be one heck of a race. These are some very fast cars, and
I believe we've got a special guest up there doing the green flag wave as well.
Yes,
I believe he was one of the guys yelling, "Start your engine," so.
I believe he might be the...
Whatever Jordan Maudsley said they were from, that's that guy.
I think it was Kubota and something like that. Might be one of the race sponsors for today. So pace car is in the pits, and the cars are coming around.
Chapman has control. Sees yellow, sees green, and here we go. Good start for Chapman, good start for Jacobs, good start for Friel, good start for Lake. Everyone started pretty equally, and it's Jacobs who gets the lead off the corner. Mark Jacobs takes the lead into turn 3, and he clears him.
Lake with a little bit of contact there into the back of the 13 as he's coming around turn 3.
Gave Chapman a little shove, and it helped him up a little bit, but Lake up into 3rd, shovels Friel a bit back. Friel tracking down Lake. There's Darrell Lake. He's been at the center of all of it this first lap. Friel trying to go to the inside, dangerously close to the wall. Tried to make a move, but Darrell Lake holds firm. Chapman goes the inside. Oh, gives Jacobs a little shot, but Jacobs keeping it steady. Everyone's quick. In fact, the only one off the pace right now is Jacobs' cousin, who's in the back. Actually, Caleb Wood has an issue. He's falling back.
As we see here, the first 4 cars, Patrick Friel in 4th, Lake in 3rd, as they're battling now.
Actually, look at this. Steckley making a move. Steckley got real inside, real tight turn, and that's going to cost them as Ray Morneau Jr. moves up a spot. Everyone's real tight. This is anyone's go right now.
Morneau able to come in on the high side there on Steckley, and Friel trying to push is Morneau on the high side.
How did Steckley stay in front of Morneau there? And that might open the door for Robley. Robley getting on the inside of Morneau. All night the outside lane has been the faster lane, but with the temperatures getting low, maybe that's changed. As big contact, Chapman and Jacobs. Sparks flying off Jacobs' machine. Chapman trying to go on the inside. He's fighting like it's the last lap, and there he goes, a little bump and run, and he's up into 1st. Darrell Lake trying to pick the bones, going on the inside of Jacobs. Jacobs goes a little loose, and Jacobs has been trained and shoveled himself back a bit. Friel gets that at Jacobs. Chapman is in the lead. Lake in 2nd. Friel in 3rd.
And Steckley making a move around the 96
Jacobs has
car.
absolutely been trained.
And Morneau passing Jacobs on the inside. Jacobs falling behind quickly here in this race. 27 to go as they cross the line.
Robley now trying to make a move on Jacobs. Jacobs needs to get off the outside as soon as possible. That's been the fastest all night. It's not anymore, as Jacobs is now in a world of hurt. He's got a lot of room to make up, and we're yellow. And we got a contact, big collision in turn 2. 2 cars stopped. One of them is Connor Pritico. I can't see the other one.
I believe it's the 11.
Jason Lidster.
Yeah, Lidster and Pritico.
Oh, Lidster's car was in some flames for a second there. And there he goes. He's able to fire it back up again. And barely, Lidster and Pritico are going to stay on the lead lap. Pritico was the fastest in practice. He's going to be shuffled to the back after that incident at turn 2. And I didn't see what happened. I don't know if we got a shot of it. It was back in the field. And what a nightmare of a day for Pritico. Fastest in practice, has not looked good in either of the races he's been in so far.
We have...
Let's see. It looks like we barely caught it. It's going to be on the left side of your screen here. Pritico is the 19. And it started on the exit of turn 1 actually. You just barely saw it.
Yeah, as the exit out of turn 1 into turn 2, some contact made, and both Pritico and Lidster go spinning around, causing the yellow flag.
So track announcer Jamie Maudsley just came over to me and said that was going the whole lap. Lidster pushed Pritico into the wall on the front stretch, and that might have been a little retribution from Pritico, and just couldn't avoid wrecking himself.
Yeah, these drivers sometimes get a little frustrated. They're battling out there for positioning, and sometimes there's some contact, and some drivers get a little bit carried away possibly, but nonetheless, it looks like Lidster's
Oh, look at this, black flag. So who got black flagged? It looked like he's pointing at the 37 of Steve Arand.
That or the 73.
But Steve Arand is going the inside. It looks like maybe an issue with the body. I don't know.
He's not going into the pits to the back, so he might have just had to come through pit lane here at the front, but we'll have to wait and see.
I didn't see anything he did, so it has to be something within the specs. Because I didn't see any like dirty driving or anything that would cause a black flag.
It looks like some of the pit crew is they're looking underneath
I remember
the roof of the car.
I remember last year in the Bone Stocks, Chris Lawrence had a black flag from first for not having a deck lid. Put it on, started from the back, and then ended up finishing second. So maybe something like that. Maybe it's a missing part. And actually, there's smoke coming out off his car. Oh no, it's good now. Maybe it's just the tire squealing.
Just a quick adjustment there on the roof of the car for the 37. He'll get to go back onto the track as he'll be behind Pritico, the 19 car, as him and Lidster have
no, he's going on the inside. He thinks he's able to. He's thinking he's able to take a spot back. I don't know if that's true.
They'll get it all situated.
They have radios, so they'll tell him.
So it looks like he's slowing up now, and
no, he's
still crawling.
Yeah, he thinks he can take his spot back, and he was pretty high up. Unless maybe he thinks he needs to get back under a lap. No,
the flag man is telling him, yep,
okay,
get into your spot. Here we go.
Just fix your thing.
Yep. Fix the issue, and we'll get you back onto the track where you're supposed to be.
So lucky for him that they didn't notice it till it was under yellow, because the field is frozen under a yellow. So maybe that's why they're giving him a spot back, because the issue wasn't called until he was under yellow. The truck is saying that maybe it was just something loose on the car that was flapping, and they told him it had to be properly attached.
The deck lid, I believe, is something that was loose. It was flapping a little bit, so they were able to tighten that up, get that fixed. He's back on the track, ready to go, as there's one lap to go here under this caution. The pace car has its lights off.
So Chapman chose the outside line, which means technically Darrell Lake will have the lead at the stripe and control. Because we knew earlier that the outside line was the fastest. Mark Jacobs would now disagree, but Chapman still thinks he can get a better start on the outside line, so we shall see.
We saw that, like I said, a lot last week in this late model division. A lot of the outside on the restart by the leader. So as they come around into turn 4 to the yellow line, they're going to wait for the green flag.
Pace car pits, Lake sees yellow, now he sees green, and here we go. And a great start from Chapman, so maybe a good choice. Lake is going to bear down the inside, and Chapman gets ahead. Steckley trying to make a move. Friel getting dropped a little bit. And it's Chapman, Lake under pressure from Steckley. And Chapman would love those two to fight because he can move on a little bit. Chapman pulling away a little bit. Steckley now up into second barely. No side by each. Going into turn 3, and Chapman slows down a bit. Steckley got stuck behind him, but he is going to take second. So Steckley now to second, and Lake has to shovel back. He can't make any sort of dive bomb there.
Guys, now the cars start to go into single file mode. Coming into turn 3, it's one heck of a race. Steckley and the 13 of Chapman going head to head here, trying to get 1-2.
Looking in the back, Connor Pritico is still stuck. As we see up front, Chapman is in the lead, but Steckley is his biggest trouble now.
Lake's not too far behind either.
Lake might be in wait-and-see mode. He can't really make too much of a move on Steckley, because then Chapman will get away. So I think the strategy for Lake here is try and get Steckley and Chapman to fight, and then pick the bones from there. Friel is a little bit too far back to do anything. He's really got to worry about Ray Morneau in the 03, making a move on him. And in fact, Ray Morneau going to check the inside. Nothing doing there. The top 6 is starting to pull away a little bit. Chapman's still in the lead. Steckley with him. Robley in 6th. And then a little bit of a gap to the 7th place car, the 73.
As we got 21 to go coming to the line, it's still Chapman and Steckley with Rob Lake in 3rd. There's not really much of a gap here between the top 3 cars. It's going to come down to the wire here in this late model race. It's been a great race so far.
Friel has got to think 2 things. 1, do not let Ray Morneau pass. 2, do not let Darrell Lake get too far away. They're coming out of turn 4. Chapman's still in the lead. Nothing much has changed. Everyone trying in wait-and-see mode. We still don't have all the data, these teams, they don't have all the data on what the new track surface does. They might have to worry about tire wear. Chapman's still in the lead, Steckley behind. They're all staying single file right now. Barry Watson tried to make a move to get into 8th, and that's the only real action right now. Connor Pritico actually has dropped the people he's with, and the guy who was fastest in practice is now going to make a move on Watson, the number 19, coming out of turn 3 into turn 4, going on the inside, and they'll come to the strike. Pritico, the 19, going into turn 1. Pritico going around Watson, trying to make a move. Pritico is the fastest in practice, has had horrible luck today in the races, and is now moving.
What a move by Pritico here, as he had to go to the back after that caution that he was involved with Lister, but he's making good makeup time here.
And now look at this, up front, Ray Morneau Jr. making a move on Patrick Friel. Pat Robley gets him to the back of Friel. Gives him a little shove that helps him get past Morneau, but somehow that doesn't turn Friel. Morneau up into the wall. Friel getting on the inside. Robley gives him another shove. Just trying to push him past. Cause some sort of incident. Robley right into the back of Friel, and finally Morneau is able to pull away. Friel is just being bullied by Robley from the back, but still able to keep him ahead. And now Robley's going to make a move on the inside. Friel breaks later. Good move by Friel to stay defensively, but now he's lost a lot of time on the leaders from that battle with Morneau.
Yeah, he's been battling with Ray Morneau all race here, but he's still sitting within the top 5.
Pritico's up with that group now. Pritico's going to try and make it. Where did Connor Pritico come from? Oh my goodness.
You mentioned he was the fastest in practice. For a reason, he's now showing that he's pretty fast here in the feature race.
Pritico now all over Robley. Robley's got to let Friel go, because now he's got to worry about Pritico. The top 7 have now come together. Chapman is very quickly losing his lead to Steckley. But Steckley is holding Lake back, who's holding Morneau back, who's holding Friel back, who's holding Robley back, who's now holding Pritico back. Can you believe this? Barry Watson is behind them, and then there's a lot of space to the cars behind.
Look to go here in this race. But yes, this battle from 1st to 7th.
Oh, Morneau got sideways.
Absolutely insane.
Not sideways. Morneau got loose. He saved it, and somehow no one in that train came together. Pritico on the outside. Pritico looking to go on the outside of Robley. Robley stays defensive. Look at this. Look at these cars. Look how close they all are. They're going to go in like figure skaters, like speed skaters, going around the turn all together. Pritico, desperate to get past Robley. He knows he's the fastest out there. Pritico gets into Robley. Pritico shoves Robley out of the way. Here comes Connor Pritico.
Pritico showing why he's one of the fastest drivers in the late model division. He's now in 6th spot behind Friel, who's in 5th, who's chasing Morneau, who's chasing the leaders. This is absolutely crazy.
Pritico on Friel and Friel on Morneau. Friel looking to the inside of Morneau. Friel's going to make a move.
We're going to take a replay. Look at the replay here as Pritico into the side of Robley. Spins Robley up high, causing Pritico to get into 6th position.
Pritico and Friel. Patrick Friel and Connor Pritico, the two fastest men on the racetrack, have taken each other out with 6 to go.
Fire on Friel's car there at the back passenger side.
Oh, he's really burning now.
Just unfortunate.
Oh, he's really burning now. Why are we yellow? Why are we not red? His car is just straight up on fire.
Yeah, unfortunate for Patrick Friel. The last couple of races of last season, he's got into some damage. Last weekend, got taken out, and now here tonight, running within the top group of this race, and he's trying to inch his car, but he's gonna be able to get his car to speed.
These two guys were beating and banging for 2 straight laps. Pritico earlier took a car into the wall.
Gonna get a look here.
There's Pritico and Friel and Morneau.
Friel got into Morneau a little bit in the back, and then as they're coming around, we're gonna keep an eye on it.
Yeah, there was the move that I mentioned.
Pritico tries to go outside, then tries to go low on Friel.
Here would
and then
be
right,
he
into
himself.
the back of Friel is Pritico, trying to go low there.
I mean, there's 2 ways you could read that. You could read that as Pritico's squeezing the inside wall by Friel and that caused it. Or you could say Friel was defending his position and Pritico got way too ambitious.
We'll take another look at it here.
Friel's going to go into his pit stall, and let's take a look.
Pritico right
Oh, he didn't even hit the inside wall. He just hit
No, Pritico just drove right up onto the back side of the driver's side of the Friel's car there, and then took him into the outside wall.
So it looks like, wow, both cars are still on the track, actually. Friel went into the pit lane. He's come out now.
I think his crew was able to
repair whatever was damaged.
Use some duct tape.
And Pritico Pritico himself is going to come in. It looks like his pit crew's ready to receive him, but there's only a couple of them moving. I don't know if they're ready to work.
Pritico into his,
and the front part of the car is going to be a big source of problem, because I mean, look at this, a lot of damage. Again, just drove up right onto him, and then that doesn't help.
Yeah, the front right tire.
Good driving by Friel to make that a lot less bad than it was. And one car is going to pull actually into his garage. I didn't see which number that was. Was that Friel? No, it wasn't.
Friel still on the on the track.
That might have been Lidster who pulled into the garage.
Pritico entering the out of pit lane. He's going to be on, so it's going to be Pritico and Friel here at the back of the pack.
So the field was frozen. The exception is whoever caused the caution gets cycled to the back, but they're not put a lap down, crucially. And actually, yeah, Pritico, yeah, he's not going to do it. He has his net down. He might just be taking a shortcut to his hauler. And yep, so Pritico, that might be his night. So now Friel has to go through some traffic to get through. Chapman once again is going to choose the outside. Friel actually, he pulled into the garage. He's pulled back out. He's now in the pit lane. So he's going to, but it's too late now to get back where he was. So he's going to cycle himself to the back.
Yeah, so the 11 of Lidster coming out as well. So as mentioned, Friel involved in that caution will now have to go to the back, but it's still going to be interesting to see the top 4 to 5, even top 6 cars now, as that was one heck of a race in and of itself to see Steckley, Lake.
Oh, look at Lake, by the way. Lake's right in on Steckley.
On Steckley's bumper there.
Go, Steckley, go. Steckley sees green, he's gone. But, oh, Lake right into him. Chapman right ahead. And it's Morneau Jr. in second. Steckley trying to stay inside, trying to squeeze Morneau out.
Morneau able to grab second off of Steckley, and now it looks like they might.
And we're yellow. It's the 17 in the back. No, it's the 17 Zigorodny. Spun out on turn 1. He was, I believe, running third last. But he was still on the lead lap. So if he can get going, he'll stay on the lead lap. He's only going to lose 3 spots. Friel was able to get past Peyton Jacobs. Lidster was not. Well, let's look at the start, though, because I wonder if they were also taking a look at maybe Jaden Chapman getting an early start because of Darrell Lake here. Watch the 77 here.
Right under the back bumper of Steckley.
Actually, you know what? That might have been Robley pushing Lake, pushing Steckley. That might have been the whole train. Actually, you know what? My truck's saying that we think it was Steckley himself trying to slow the field down.
And that I don't understand why Steckley, because that would then allow Chapman to get a good start and take the lead there. So
he has the inside on the pole, so he would have control, unless he was trying to bait Chapman into jumping early, something like that, or maybe just trying to annoy Lake.
Maybe. We'll have,
you never know.
You never know what's here, but the lights of the pace car are off, so that car will hit the pits, and the cars will see green coming out of turn 4.
Keep an eye on 22 and 77 here. Steckley might want to do it again if he thinks that it worked. Pace car pits. Steckley sees yellow. Steckley still sees yellow. Now he sees green, and here we go. Now he's going to take off, but Chapman still gets ahead. Steckley trying to stay inside. Steckley is now able to stay inside just barely, but Chapman's got to run. So does Morneau. Lake being dropped. Chapman up front, Steckley in second. Morneau is going to try and squeeze him inside. Lake shoving Steckley. And this could be something. Robley trying to pick the bones now. Behind them is Barry Watson, but Watson getting dropped by the top 5.
Morneau able to get around Steckley here, has second position for now, behind Chapman, who's in first.
And he's going to try and clear Steckley here. Can he go to the inside? Yes, he can. Closing the door. Watson able to stay with the lead pack a little bit, but he's quickly being dropped on the straights by Robley. That Watson car is just really good in the corners. Chapman getting hit by Morneau now. Morneau now is pace split. 3 laps to go. This is a shootout. Chapman still with the lead. He's been the fastest all day, but he's been really defensive the last couple laps because Morneau is not above whatever it takes to win. Morneau, one of the finest racers we have, the 03, has been a part of that group for a long time. Looking to the inside. Chapman closed the door. He's actually looking outside. And now here comes Steckley. Steckley and Lake. Robley. Watson being dropped. Last lap. Chapman trying to pull away from Morneau. Morneau right on his bumper. Morneau looking outside this time. It's gonna be a drag race. Morneau gets a run. Chapman holds him off. It's gonna be a race to the line.
That is a very close call.
I think it was Chapman.
Morneau and Chapman get into it after the start-finish line, as they were side by side across the line. And now the
PA is saying that they think that Morneau is the winner.
And Morneau got his right tire, right driver's side tire cut down.
The scoring
after
tower.
That contact.
The scoring tower has the 13 as the winner. He's turning into the victory lane. So I believe that is the call. Jaden Chapman wins at Delaware Speedway
by a sliver. By a sliver.
Jaden Chapman, just look at that, the gold car on the top. Morneau, if that race had gone 5 more meters, he had it.
Yes, as you see, just the front, the red strip of Chapman's car across the start-finish line for the win, and then puts Morneau into the wall after that. So then Morneau turns and gives it back to Chapman.
We're about to hear from Jaden Chapman. I wonder if he has anything to say about his reaction with Ray Morneau Jr.
From the double duty, not making it more than 3 laps apiece, and
Bone stocks and his late model
to 4 or 5 laps next time
to now victory lane.
Well, I can tell you they're going to have a nightmare fixing this right side, but I'm sure they can just hammer that out with the trophy.
Yeah, I got a chance to see the replay on Rogers. About 8 inches, Justin and Jordan, about an 8-inch gap of victory for Jaden Chapman getting it done.
And he's jumping out of the car to Jordan.
Hopping out of the car after a big win down here in this pro late model class. Jaden, first of all, how much fun was that? That looked awesome.
Well, after the season I've been having so far, that was pretty good. I felt so bad there. I was trying to chase my car up coming off, and I pinched Ray, and I did not mean to do that at all.
Yeah, coming out of that last corner, you knew it had to be close. What were you thinking?
I was just hoping for more power, and I just chased my car up, and I accidentally pinched Ray in the wall, and that's not how I race.
And then back to that last restart, you were lined up beside Kyle. What were you thinking there?
Just get a good start. I could hear his car popping and farting under the caution, so I was just hoping I could get out.
I know you got a lot of people you want to thank here.
Well, first and most, I have to thank my dad, my family, everything. My dad, is his birthday last race. I couldn't give him the win. It's my wedding anniversary this weekend, so I have to thank my wife. I have to thank Catalyst Lubricants and McCall Racing for everything, Delaware, the fans. Tech Heat Solutions, I got to thank Aquid Auto Parts, DT Freight, St. Germain Auto Body. I'm sure I'm forgetting somebody right now, but I got my buddy right here. And we've just had a heck of a beginning of the season. It's just nice to finally get this going.
Jaden Chapman down here, your Catalyst Lubricant Pro Late Model feature winner.
Jaden Chapman, the winner of today's late model feature at Delaware Speedway. We'll be right back for Delaware Speedway Racing on Rogers TV, presented by Oil Guard.
Jeff from Chillin' and Grillin' with Jeff, and we're back with Season 3. This season, we've had the opportunity to see some great backyards, to have some fantastic food cooked on some great grills, and this season, we're helping you take your barbecue game up by adding some great barbecue tips from some local experts on anything from spices to knife care, and using the proper wood to smoke some great food. Join us, Chillin' and Grillin' with Jeff, Season 3.
Hi, I'm Dan Mailer. I'm the host of London Lights, the show where we talk about notable Londoners who have made a big mark, a big impact on the world of music, entertainment, sports, politics. Today our guest is Jonathan Hollow, Yuri Poole of the McCartney years, the one and only Jim Chapman, Peter Brennan of Jeans and Classics fame. London Lights, Thursday at 8:30.
My daughter is 7 years old and has a frenemy. They have play dates that always end up in a fight or tears. His friend bosses her around and treats her poorly, but she still wants to be her friend. What's a parent to do?
I would let them acquiesce to a certain amount, and then, when they're at this age, you still need to be supervising their play dates. So I might step in, not to correct the bossy child, but it's my child that I'm concerned about. I would just expose her to other people, teach her to have a voice, and let her know that she's got options.
Welcome back to Delaware Speedway Racing on Rogers TV, presented by Oil Guard. I'm Joey Langdon. This is Kyle Friel. I don't even know where to start. What an amazing night of racing we had.
Yeah, starting with the bone stock feature, it was a lot of cars in a tight space. less cautions than I thought would be out there with that many cars, but nonetheless, it was a solid race through and through, and then into the V8 stocks. A lot of room for only 6 cars out there, and it's kind of weird not to see Mr. Fothergill out there in that division, but good enough to see some others being able to come away with victories in that division. And then what can you say to finish off the night was the late models, and we have Ray Morneau and Chapman coming into the start-finish line, and it was by inches that as Morneau makes that nice push up the line on the outside on Chapman.
Legitimately, if this race had gone another foot, Morneau had it.
Yes, Chapman's car by a hair, and then that we did hear Chapman say that's not the type of racer he is, putting Morneau into the wall there as they just got side by side. But nonetheless, what an exciting finish to this great night of racing, Joey Langdon.
It was fantastic. I will ask though, just real quick, do you believe him that it was an accident?
I think so. I think so. Seeing how close it was of a finish, I don't think the race is over. There's nothing to gain by putting somebody into the wall at that point of the race. It's over. You've won the race. So I do think it was more of an accident than done on purpose. But of course, we will never know exactly what the reasoning was behind it. So nonetheless, Chapman comes away with the victory in the late model series tonight at Delaware Speedway. So it's what a great night of racing. And it was a great night for my first night up here in the broadcast booth on Rogers TV. So I was happy to say.
I was going to say, so do you have any thoughts of what the experience was like coming up here calling the races?
Yeah, it's a lot different than hockey, I'll tell you that. That's what I'm used to, doing the London Nationals broadcast here on Rogers TV. But no, it was fun. It was exciting. Good to see the cars, for the most part, just driving clean and not being too aggressive out there and putting cars into the wall. So, because it's an expensive sport. If that's what happens, if your car gets into the wall and all the damage, it can get pretty costly. So good to see some nice clean racing today in all 3 divisions, that being the bone stock, V8 stock, and the late model divisions.
So if that's how it's going to be all season, I'm excited for the rest of the season, and not just for the races, but here at Rogers TV, we got a lot of things planned this season to make this the best season ever here on Rogers TV. And the Delaware Speedway racers are absolutely on their way to making it happen. For Kyle Friel, I've been Joey Langdon. Thank you so much for joining us, and we hope to see you next time.
I did just reread it yesterday because I was in need of some perspective. And I think you'll understand why when you hear a little bit from Gabriel about the book and his story. So welcome to the show, Gabriel.
Thank you so much, Bruna.
So talk to me about, I know we don't have time to go through the whole story, but maybe the inspiration behind your book and a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so a little bit about myself. I come from Rwanda, but I grew up in different refugee camps in Africa, in Tanzania and Malawi. And then I came to Canada through a student-sponsored scholarship in 2016. So I wrote the book in 2018 as an open letter to my son, Elvin, who was born in 2017, just 1 year when I was in Canada. So I was not there. So in 2018, really, it was a tough year for me. I was, a father for the first time at 23 years of age. And then it was a depressing moment. So I started writing basically to my son, out of the compassion that I felt, and also the need and the responsibility that I felt as a father, because growing up, I never had a father and I've never met him, and I don't know if he lives or not.
Wow. So, and a lot of this is I guess the inspiration and the story that's in the book. So you talk about your childhood and learning about your father's story and learning about your family in the book. Talk to us a little bit about that journey, if you don't mind.
So, it was an easy journey because I always knew my story, but I always had questions to ask. My grandparents and then my mother, whom I haven't seen for almost 20 years now, 20 years now. So it was easy to put together, but the very last part whereby I discussed about my father, that part I learned about it from my mother in 2020, when I was just finalizing the writing processes. But the writing itself was really smooth, but I also did get a lot of help from, people at my university, my editors and friends as well.
So when you, can you just tell us about your, journey to Canada from your homeland? So how did that all come about? Because I know that's articulated in the book a little bit, but you're writing a whole book and self-publishing a book while you're in studies as well.
Yes. So coming to Canada, I came as a sponsored student at Huron College. And then I came basically because I was a refugee. And then the opportunities that I got basically gives young people basically an opportunity to settle down in Canada and then start their new lives in Canada and they build afresh. And so, I came as a student, but I also came because I didn't have chances to go to a university elsewhere in Africa because I was living under refugee status. So when I came to Canada, I saw all these opportunities around me at the university especially. And then I took advantage of that basically to build a story out of it and then get help from people who were around me because universities are great in that way.
Fantastic. So what program were you initially in, and are you still a student?
The program is called World University Services of Canada. I graduated in 2020. Now I went for a master's degree in immigration and settlement studies at Ryerson, but then things happened and I kind of put that, on pause. Right now I'm back in London and I'm just working.
I think you do. Is it a podcast that you do as well on top of writing books and keeping busy here in London?
Yeah, so I'm volunteering with Win Community Center. They have a podcast, that is basically run through Evo TV, by Colin and his team. So I've planned basically each and every week on Mondays to call a local author and basically give them an opportunity to showcase their work, but also an opportunity to interview them. Now, I love books so much, and I love reading other people's work and other people's writings. And so, it's an opportunity for me to do things that I love at the same time, also an opportunity to get my name out there as a writer, but also as a publisher, because I started a publishing company called Living Books, but also an opportunity to connect with other authors and showcase their work.
Fantastic. So as somebody who is not just an author, but also a publisher and also a lover of literature, can you tell me what you're reading right now and tell us about, maybe tell our viewers about some authors they might not know about that maybe would be a fascinating weekend read or something that we could really learn from, the way I loved learning from your book?
So right now I'm reading The Rebel by Albert Camus. It's basically a philosophical writing that talks about, civil disobedience and all of that. So I'm into those kinds of stuff. But yeah, that's what I'm reading right now.
And how about writing? Is there another book on the horizon for you, Gabriel?
I've been working on my second book. That is still in production, but I've kind of put it on pause. I just self-published also another book, a seemingly book that I started writing in the summer of 2019 for 3 months. Now, because I couldn't continue with that book, it kind of talks about my journey with Christianity and me, going away with basically done away with the Christianity stuff because I no longer believe in a God or something of that. There's that existential crisis that I was exploring in that book. So it's now published as a diary because I just couldn't keep up with the work, and I put everything, all my writing on hold, and I'm just focusing on building myself, getting myself settled.
Wow, so much going on, and I want to hear more about it. And we're actually going to bring Christy back and hear a little bit discussion between our two authors, finding out about the creative process, a little bit about self-publishing and getting into this field, because I think a lot of people over the last couple of years maybe have been diarizing and thinking about becoming authors because lots of self-reflection time has been happening. So please stay with us. We're going to be right back with more from Gabriel and Christy after the break.
This program is brought to you by the following sponsors.
We can be hurt. We can be bruised. We can be broken. Slowed down. Confused, and even numbed. But we can't be defeated. We're built on a foundation that's strong, our mission unwavering, and together we'll beat as one.
I'm Jennifer Slay, the host of What's Up London. Join me each week as I meet Londoners who are doing extraordinary things and helping to make the city a better place to live. Watch What's Up London Mondays only on Rogers TV.
My favorite part of volunteering at Rogers has been picking up new tech skills like running cameras or graphics, and getting to volunteer with and meet people in a super fun sports-based environment.
Welcome back to LDN ONT TV here on Rogers TV. So I've been so lucky today to be able to chat with a couple of my favorite local authors, Gabriel and Christy, about, a little bit about the creative process, but I thought it would be interesting for our viewers and for me as well to put our authors together so they can tell us a little bit and maybe talk to each other a little bit about, the journey of writing and self-publishing, promoting, anything that you'd like to share. So why don't we start with you, Christy? Like how either the business, the creative side of things or the business side of things?
All of it. Number one, I wanted to give a shout out to our artist. Like she is just incredible, Sherry Campbell. That's a great thing. This whole project, we spent so much time on every little detail that right to the wording to all of that. I too also had to become a self-publisher in order to get the books going. So that's been a journey all on its own. It's a very different journey than having like a big publishing house pick you up.
And so I guess you have to be really motivated to get that story out there.
Absolutely. And I think for any writer, any artist, anything, it's the passion that you're bringing with it definitely makes a difference, because especially being an author and doing books, no matter what level, is a lot of networking. It's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of grinding. So you have to have like a good amount of passion behind what you're doing.
Absolutely. And I think for you, Gabriel, like the passion behind the writing had to do with telling that story to your son, but publishing, you've been able to share that story that was inspired to, talk to your son who is far away and I guess really touch the heart of the people who are reading it as well. So the dual purpose.
Yeah. So actually, as much as I wrote the story for my son, I also wanted to write it for the public, because part of my writings, and that's what I plan, they have to be a little bit historical. They have to touch on a very historical context, and then build a story out of that. So, and in the place that I come from, the people of my generation, people who are 28 years right now, who were born in 1994 or 5 years before the genocide, haven't written anything. So I would say that so far from my generation, I'm the second person who has lived in the refugee camps where I come from, like Tanzania and Malawi, to write a story about that. And that is the reason why I say that not so many Rwandans would buy into the story, especially, political or politicians in the country, because of some of the stuff that I discuss in the book. And I wrote it for my son. I was trying to learn from how James Baldwin and Ta-Nehisi Coates write their books and how they wrote to a very specific audience. James Baldwin writes to his nephew, Ta-Nehisi Coates writes to his son. And so I was also trying to basically emulate that, but I felt miserably.
And so, Christy, when you are writing, do you have a particular, like, I would assume it's the, Indigenous boys who are not represented in literature, but do you have somebody in mind when you're doing your writing?
Actually, as a mom, I found, especially my boys really struggled with literacy. And then as I started looking more and more, I found that it was a literacy thing all across the board, not just for Indigenous boys. And we figured out a lot of it was just re-engaging them with a positive boy who was just having fun, but still problem solving and that kind of thing.
Yeah, fantastic. Now, would you take a minute or two, maybe we'll start with Christy, and just, it's so powerful to hear an artist, an author reading their own words. So do you have like a little favorite paragraph or a little snippet from the books that we can share?
Absolutely. So in the back of every of the Jane Gizmo books, we have this little saying. So, we always hear about the girls wanting sugar and spice and everything nice. So there was one that was put together and it says, stars and moonbeams and boundless dreams. That's what little boys are made of.
Beautiful. It's such a lovely sentiment. Okay, Gabriel, how about you? Is there maybe a little passage that really stands out for you or that you could read and share with our viewers?
Yeah, so it's just right at the beginning of the book. I said, I have worked every day to offer you the future you deserve. I know that your future, your life experiences are and will always be different from mine. And more than anything, I hope they will be so much better. But no matter how far you have come and will go, you need to know that not every moment will be sunshine and roses. There is no sunshine, joy, or glory without dark days of the soul. For nothing good comes easy in this life. Goodness comes to those who go out and chase it, never to those who wait. Like Philip Dube reminds, I can sit here and teach you every trick in the book, but at the end of the day, it is your life.
It's beautiful. Thank you so much. Anything else that you can share, I guess, going forward with, I'm so moved. Anything else you can share going forward with our viewers with respect to, maybe they're inspired to be like you and write. Is there, a word of wisdom for those people who are hoping to self-publish someday?
I think there is no problem with self-publishing. When I first did it, it's still publishing because you've written a book and you've had the courage to get it out there and it's been revised by editors and people are going to love it. People are going to read what you've written. So I would advise young writers basically to get the courage to self-publish if no publisher is interested in their book, especially during these days that, people who publish with big companies are people who have got a little bit of their name out there and people with big connections. So for a self-publisher, I think they can do it. It doesn't matter how much you sell. At the end of the day, you just want to get the story out and continue working on other stories if you are serious into writing.
Thanks. And Christy, words of wisdom?
That's exactly it. If you have anything to write, get it out there, take the chance. For the literacy aspect of the project we do, it only takes one book to change a child's literacy at any point. So yeah, I would tell anybody, if you have a dream to write and get a book out, do it. Just do it. People love it. We're always looking for new content all over. And again, I agree, even if the big publishers aren't looking, keep at it, because you know what? You will have people who very much value your work.
And I very much valued your time today, and I love these stories. I'm looking forward to reading more from both of you. Thank you, Gabriel. Thank you, Christy, for being here, and thank you, viewers. We'll be back next week with more LDN ONT TV here on Rogers TV. I'm your host, Brona. Have a great week.
Call the Rogers TV viewer response line, email us, or connect with us on social media.
It was our 35th anniversary. To celebrate, we were on our way to Mama Rosie's, where we had our first date. That's when we heard coming from the radio. So we stopped and listened. It helped us get to safety. So when I think of our anniversary, because now we have even more to celebrate.
This is gonna be a phenomenal fight, and I can't wait to see it. Glover Teixeira!
It's gonna be a brutal fight.
I'm coming home with the bell. Gary Prohaska! He's here to take over. Valentina Shevchenko! She is a straight-up assassin. Tyler Santos, flyweight's newest contender. One of the most epic fights in the history of the UFC.
The UFC's going to Singapore. This card's stacked from top to bottom. I cannot wait.
You're watching Rogers TV, London.
Jeff from Chillin' and Grillin' with Jeff here, back in